Latest software. Upgrade. Switch to Comcast Business for over 99.99% network reliability, advanced cyber.
Mike Missanelli Show on the air right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Phillies back at it tonight. It'll be Suarez and Gaussman. The Phillies looking to build on winning 2 or 3 from the Cubs. Right now, they have the 5th seed. It goes Mets, Cubs, bye. Dodgers, Giants, Phillies, Padres. First round, Phillies, Giants. I know we're a long way from that, but that's the way it is now. I'll continue to update you on that. We'll have some Sixer talk today. First of all, Charles Barkley will join us at 11:15. This is just my way of trying to be a troublemaker, which I do a lot. Amy Fidel is with us today. Hello, good morning, Amy.
Good morning. I'm excited for you to be that troublemaker.
Yeah,
you stirred the pot yesterday.
The first thing I thought about when Adam Silver came out and called him the crazy uncle was how Charles would respond to that. So I immediately, as I can do, get under people's skin and say, Charles, man. Yeah, the commissioner, it's late to you.
Crazy uncle.
Yeah, and he go, what did Adam say? And so I sent him the clip. So we're going to have his reaction to that today and some other things on the Sixers. There's a topic at the morning show Explore because they had Julius Irving on today. First of all, Connor Thomas, the producer of the show, when he gets Julius on the phone, says,
hello, sir.
Hello, sir. Yeah, no,
I like
it. You do.
Ooh, it's uber respectful.
Is it uber respectful or is it I'm so shocked and afraid this is Julius Irving?
I don't know that Connor's ever talked to Dr. J, has he?
Well, no.
So there you go.
Should that matter?
So the
really?
first.
Well, in any event,
met him.
Julius revealed something really interesting to a lot of people, and for some reason, it's not resonating with me. I don't really think it's that big of a deal. But he talked about Joel Embiid, and he has only spoken to Joel in passing. Can we let's hear that right out of the chute here. Ray Dunn, of course, is with us today. Ray, let's hear that.
So I've only spoken to Joel in passing and have not really been invited to have a sit-down conversation with him about his health, his wellness, his career, and all of that. So that's not correct.
Okay.
No, I haven't been in that position, and it wasn't my job; it was somebody else's job per se. And I wouldn't mind doing it. I mean, if I was asked to do that, or even asked by him, but that hasn't happened.
Well, he sounds a little miffed about it, first of all. But second of all, Amy, what is your reaction to that? Does that hit you a certain way?
It didn't actually. I mean, what is the expectation that because Dr. J is the vaunted player here that he is supposed to talk to Joel Embiid about his health? I mean, I don't know. I don't know that that's the if it was something the team would think was in Joel's best interest, maybe that's something that they would. Mm-hmm. But Dr. J said it himself. No one asked him to do that.
Yeah.
It's not like he has the opportunity. I guess he could pull him aside. I don't know their relationship. Obviously, there isn't much of one to know that if Dr. J really wanted to, I think he could probably force their hand, right? If he really wanted to give tips to Joel Embiid, he could just he's Dr. J. Just walk in there.
What tips is he going to give a guy like Joel Embiid, who's gotten like 1,000 people have probably talked to Joel Embiid about his work habits or this or that. Shaq called him out on national TV, and he said, "Yeah, you're right, Shaq." Blah, blah. Like I don't understand. Now, Ray has a different opinion about this. Now, Ray, What bugged you most about what Julius said about him not having a conversation with Embiid, meaning Embiid never invited it or the Sixers never invited it, and Embiid doesn't really care that he's a legend, basically?
Yeah, when I look at this from the Embiid side of all these things, like, yeah, you would love for him to want to talk to a champion, want to get what it takes to win a championship. But from an organization standpoint, this is one of the legends of your organization. This is quite literally the last time that you won a championship, the guy that was your guy. Why in the world would you not want to sit down your superstar with someone like this just to pick the brain? I mean, at this point, it's so far gone. We're over a decade where Embiid's been here. If that conversation hasn't happened, it's not going to happen. He's won an MVP. They're not going to sit down like, this is how you succeed in the NBA. This is how you win a championship.
Right.
But why would that not have happened early on in his tenure?
Like when?
Like when he got here.
When he first got here?
Like when he was an impressionable young player.
See, I was under the assumption at some point he had talked with some people on that, but let's remember when Joel Embiid first got here, he didn't talk to anybody. You didn't see him. He was kind of kept under, wraps for those 2 years. I don't know what that would have done at that time. I hear you, and then maybe it would have helped him. I'm sure there was plenty of people talking to him about like what it takes to be like a really successful NBA player. I don't know that Dr. J was as involved. I mean, this was 10 years ago at this point.
Yeah. Let's just fast forward and say, like even now, if Julius is referring to he's never had a conversation, and not only that, that's not even happened now. So if it happened now, let me ask you, Ray, what good would it do? Like what can Julius Irving tell Joel Embiid that would improve Joel Embiid when he's been through a million things where people have told him that you need to do this, do that, whatever?
Yeah, now I don't think it's too much for you, and I think for a number of reasons it wouldn't do much for you. One, I know that Irving in the past, when we were all doing the MVP campaign for Joel, there was times where Dr. J was critical of Embiid, and I'm sure Embiid didn't take that criticism well, coming from a legend of the organization that he plays for. So I can't imagine he's going to be eager to sit down and have that conversation about, what do you think I need to do better? What do you think I need to be better at? And I think Embiid's also reached a point in his career where this organization's kind of catered to letting him do what Embiid wants to do, and he's going to take, okay, thanks, Dr. J, appreciate that, walk out of the room and say, let me go back to doing what Joel Embiid does because I've succeeded at a high level in this league.
He hasn't succeeded at a high enough level.
He hasn't won at a high level.
Right. Which would allow you, like, you would say, well, anything Julius tells him would happen. But Joel Embiid's not a guy that's like, like stuff that people tell him kind of, he'll go, yeah, I accept it, but it just bounces off him.
Yeah, we had this conversation a little bit yesterday in a different way, but it was off air. There are people that are motivated by external motivators, right? Like there's somebody like shouting at them, and whether it's encouraging or otherwise, and that helps them. And there's other people that does nothing for them. They're either going to do it or they're going to not do it.
Right.
And so I'm definitely of an internal motivator. I'm going to either do it or I'm not going to do it. I appreciate your rah-rahness, but that's not going to really motivate me. I feel like Embiid, as you point out, Mike, he is who he is. Like, I don't know that it's going to do anything. Maybe it'll just be nice to be perspective, and you should just play the game to play the game. But as far as, like, talking to Dr. J or whomever they choose, but I don't think it's going to be I did it now.
I don't think he hears anybody. He fades into his own little world. He'll say, yeah, I need to do this, but he never does it. So to me, it's an irrelevant thing that he hasn't spoken to Julius. Even though I love Julius Irving, it's one of my childhood heroes, and so obviously I'm on his side when it comes to this. But the way I feel about the Sixers right now, Amy, I've reached a conclusion on this version of the Sixers, which is I refuse to get re-engaged. I'm not done with them. I know what the reality of this team is, and I'm not going to be pulled back into this whimsical notion that oh my God, if they're all healthy, they're going to be a contender. I'm not going to embarrass myself anymore.
It's funny because after the Celtics series, I think everybody was completely out on the team, and then you got a little rejuvenation. You thought, oh, maybe that's fun, and then the Knicks series happened in the playoffs. That was tough. And then you see the way that the season went last year. It's really tough to re-engage on this team. And I think you're not going to be alone. There's going to be so many people that are going to be. It's not even a wait and see. It's wait and show. You know what I mean? It's not like, maybe I'll lock in by February. It's going to be like March or April that people are going to be like, look at that. That's fun. I think there's people that are always going to be locked in. but I think the vast majority is absolutely it's gonna be a tough road.
I just can't do it. I'm sorry. I would love to be different about this whole thing. I've seen this play many times, and there's nothing new that's going to come out of the play for me. So why attend? That's the way I look at it. Yeah,
I'm not that strong
I don't mean that literally. Like I'll probably be down there every once in a while to see a game, but it's like, why get engaged in the plot of this?
Because you think you know the ending?
Yeah, I know the plot. The plot it's already been laid out, right? Right? No?
If you're not interested in this play, I could tell you about a musical in town that you would absolutely love to see.
I'm more interested in the musical than I am in the play that's going to happen this NBA season.
See, I'm more interested. I don't know. I like both. I do love a good music number, though, Ray.
Well, you gonna go see Daryl Morey's production?
Sure.
Are you really?
Why not? I love musical theater. It's great.
We still haven't extended an invitation, if you could believe it.
No, you guys, no.
I can't go to that play. I'd be thinking of being Paul George. But when I go to that play, I think how disappointed I am about the whole concept of the Sixers.
That's where your mind will be.
Exactly.
You'll be on the play.
I'll be tweaked.
That's why you should go see the play instead.
All right, so here's the question. I want to know how people feel about this. Julius Irving said he's only spoken to Embiid in passing. He's never been asked or invited to sit down, talk to him in any capacity. So he's never been able to give him advice on health or wellness or career and all this stuff. Does it matter to you? It matters to Ray? Amy and I are kind of lukewarm on it. What the hell people feel about this whole thing, or whether they feel anything at all Sixers related. 610-632-0975 is how you get in the Mike Missanelli Show. We're back after this.
Philadelphia Union Soccer. They play short here.
Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5, the Fanatic. Julius Irving, the legend, was on this morning. I've told this story many times. I told Amy for the first time today about I was interviewing the doc for a magazine story, and his dog got a little frisky with me.
You were respectful of the dog and Dr. J.
No, I wasn't respectful of the dog at all.
Sure you were.
No, I was not.
The dog.
I was respectful of the doc because I could not break up a great interview because his dog was doing illicit things to my leg.
So much.
But in any event, 610-632-0975. We got some early text on this Julius Irving thing.
We have a text that mirrors, I think, how you feel.
Really? Okay.
Who cares? Sixers aren't worth my time.
Yeah, well,
Matt and Raleigh.
well, no. See, that's not what
Okay, I mean, that's a little.
Yeah, that's not what I'm saying. The Sixers aren't worth my time.
I'm certainly not saying that.
But the issue is whether it matters that because this is kind of a slight at Embiid. Embiid is like is he too good to talk to a legend? You know, that's what the implication is, right? Right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what the implication
I
is.
just feel like the ship has sailed on that.
I agree.
Embiid's 30.
I think the ship
Been
has
here for
absolutely
10
sailed.
years.
I just don't get why it never happened.
Well, maybe it was just there was never an opportunity to. I don't know.
I don't
Let's
understand.
go back to the how what kind of kid gloves Joel Embiid was treated with when he was here, right? When he first arrived, you couldn't talk to. The legend of him was like you would see him. For those of you out there who don't know, they used to practice at PCOM, which is like right across from where we are, right?
Yeah.
And Mike, you were there.
Yeah.
Remember how they would raise the curtain and
Yeah.
you would just have to like lean down and see, and you were up above.
Yeah.
That's the only time you would see Joel Embiid.
Right.
Off in the corner, and I swear he grew an inch every single time we went over there.
Yeah.
He started at 6'11", and now he's like 7'3". You never talked to him. You never saw him. I don't know what that would have been the only time, and no one was talking to him.
Yeah, I guess back then maybe it would have been beneficial. I don't know. But see, when I look at these things, I go, like, what? Like a great player, Hall of Fame player, like, what are they supposed to tell the younger buck? Like, what? I don't understand it. Like, the younger buck has to find his own way through the whole morass of being a professional athlete. So how can a legend help him? Like, be like me? Like, I don't understand.
It's
like
such a different game.
Everybody's individualistic, and it is a different game, and I don't know. I'm not seeing this for some reason. Like, why would it be necessary?
All right, to compare this to like real life in this sense, not to draw comparisons to what we do to what they do, but like you've worked with me for a while. I'm pretty hard-headed. Like I could be stubborn. I could be a little bit of a pain in the ass. But
I really haven't seen the pain in the ass part yet.
No, that's very nice of you to say.
Is that coming?
No, that's not coming. You've passed the pain in the ass
I don't
portion.
think you'd be aware, Larry, of it here. All right, but go ahead.
No, you've passed that portion.
Okay.
But I think like every day I take something from working with you to try and, hey, this is like good for my career. Same with Amy. Same with a lot of people I work with. Like just from conversations we have, experiences we have, it helps to have someone who has accomplished a lot be around someone who wants to be great. And I think that's a line of thinking that should be in pretty much every workplace.
Okay.
So
that's a good idea by you. I listen to that and I go, well, what advice could I have possibly given you? I go, I don't know.
But you don't realize what conversations help people until it helps the person. Like I think having Dr. J around, it's not so much like having him have a conversation with the beat. It's not like, hey, you have to give him the top 10 secrets to success in the NBA.
Yeah.
You can talk shop and you could talk life and you could talk basically anything with him. And if he takes something from that conversation, it's beneficial with him.
Okay,
I
get that part.
That to me is like, if you haven't sat down and had a conversation with the guy, you're doing him a disservice because that's someone that succeeded in life. And even if he takes a small thing from that conversation, it can help him in a way that we don't know.
So the frame of reference is if some youngster came to me and wanted to get in this business and say, like, pick my brain about certain things. I've done that before, and I get that part of it. But when it comes to like a professional athlete, I don't know what Julius Irving can tell him that enhance his ability. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Basketball-wise, but I think professionally there could have been something early on maybe because Joel Embiid did have that learning curve, right? And I feel like it was after the Toronto series that he finally realized, like, hey, maybe just rolling out here and just being, a really good basketball player isn't all that I need to do. And I feel like you did see a shift in him He
Okay.
changed his diet a bit. So maybe that was something, but that would have been before that. That's
the
like
people that are
7 years
hands-on.
ago.
Yeah, the people that are hands-on with him every day, I think, have more responsibility for that kind of thing than what Julius could tell him.
Well, I'm also not putting the blame on Julius. I don't think this is a Dr. J problem at all. Like I think,
So Embiid is the one that should have gone,
or the organization,
or the organization
Suggested
should
it.
have fostered some kind of a meeting.
I don't need them to walk out. They're like, you know what? Every month we're going to sit down and talk for an hour about basketball. Hang out, have Shirley Temples, and see how you're doing. But I would love for something to come out of a legend from your organization being around someone that you want to succeed at a high level.
I got that. So Charles Barkley tells that story all the time about Moses Malone and how he called him a fat ass.
Yep.
But they were playing together at the time, So
it was different. And Moses comes in there coming off an MVP.
Yeah.
And Charles is a young guy.
Right.
But as teammates, I think he felt like he could say that. Maybe if it presented itself, maybe Dr. J felt like he could say it. But I think that in this scenario, it would have had to have come from either the Sixers or Joel.
I get it.
I would imagine Tyrese Maxey's had conversations with
Doc?
With some of the older the players that have come through.
Yeah.
I know Allen Iverson always wanted to mentor, and I remember thinking, maybe parts of it.
Yeah, do the right things.
Edit yourself.
Work hard. Do the right
yourself.
things.
Try
Keep yourself in
hard
shape.
in
Don't
the
go out late
game.
at night. He told him all that.
Work hard in the game.
Yeah.
Be present in the game.
Yo, man, go to after-hour clubs till 4 a.m.
I think that
never hurt you.
there are some things you could take away from AI in his on-court performance that would be helpful.
Yeah, I hear you. Now Shaq has told him a million times what he needed to do, right? Live on TV.
Yes, and I think Joel really has taken exception.
Oh, man, you got to dominate every minute. Stuff like that.
Shaq has also said he thinks anybody over 6'5" or 6'8" shouldn't shoot the three.
Exactly.
Which is high. It's 20-25. Stop doing it.
You got to dominate. 610-632-0975. We got a couple calls we want to get to. Owen and Derek, and then of course Greg is out of left field. Greg from Bethlehem. All of a sudden wants to talk about robo umpires. Now where would that subject have floated through?
Also,
Greg?
people think that Greg did that when this first came up to light last year. I remember he called in. I think he actually thought it was a real robot instead of
I'm
VR.
telling you, this man prepares a show sheet every day for his calling for us.
Out of the blue, he wants to talk about robo
But
umpires.
honestly, I think he thinks it's a real robot.
Greg, you need to send me an email with your show
ideas. It's not a robot. It is just. It's just like it looks like tennis.
Oh my God!
Go to a minor league game and you'll see it.
610-632-0975. The Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies Blue Jays this weekend. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies enjoyed a day off yesterday after losing 2-3 from the Cubs earlier this week. Now they'll welcome the Toronto Blue Jays. Or after taking, 2-3 from the Cubs earlier this week. Now they're welcome to the Toronto Blue Jays town for a 3-game weekend set. The Blue Jays took 2-3 from the Phillies earlier this month in Toronto. Tonight will be Ranger Suarez matching up with Kevin Gausman on the mound. First pitch at 6:45 down at Citizens Bank Park. The NHL Finals continue to deliver last night as the Oilers tied up the series on the back of a 5-4 overtime win. As for the NBA Finals, Thunder look to tie up the series tonight with the Pacers. We'll have a live broadcast of the game tonight with pre-game coverage beginning at 7:30 right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And who better to talk about the NBA with than Charles Barkley. He joins us coming up at 11:15 to talk about the NBA Finals, the 76ers, whatever's on his mind, and of course the comments we played for you yesterday in the news at noon from Adam Silver talking about inside the NBA. The Union hosts Charlotte FC Saturday at 7:30. You catch the game live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. This update is brought to you by WhatsApp. On WhatsApp, your personal messages stay private because your personal messages are yours. No one else can see or hear them. Not even WhatsApp. WhatsApp, message privately with everyone. I'm Ray Down on your home for the NBA Finals. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
28, Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5, The Fanatic. Back to the text board. Julius Irving, Joel Embiid. What are they saying? What are they saying, Ray?
We got Mike checking in here. This is just an example of the problems within the Sixers organization. We have some great legends to help develop players, and we just don't use them.
But let's take it to a different level, and I hear what they're saying. But let's go to just pick one. The Knicks. The Knicks have some legends. Or is like Bernard King like talking to Jalen Brunson?
Maybe he is. We don't know.
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering.
We know here Julius didn't talk to Embiid.
Has Julius talked to anybody else, I wonder?
I don't know. Did he allude to that at all?
It seems like he's a big fan of Maxey. Whether or not he's talked to Maxey, I don't know. But it seems like he's a big fan of Maxey.
All right, let's go one more
thing.
Julius Irving quote here where he talks about how others have asked for his mentorship. This is Julius Irving 3.
I would say Shaquille O'Neal, Magic Johnson are at the top of the list. And then there's been a dozen other guys who, over the years, have just reached out, with my involvement with Philadelphia Coca-Cola. A lot of guys were interested in knowing how that happened and what's that all about. So, where the parks of money. And not just generally, especially with rookies coming in. George Gervin, when he came in when I was a Virginia Squire, and Andrew Toney, you could mention him again, when I was 76. I mean, I took these guys home with me, and said, okay, we're going to spend a little bit of time together. We're going to spend a couple of days because I really want you to be a good pro and to understand the difference between being an amateur and being a pro. Because that was done for me. I had Charlie Scott and I had Ray Scott in my early years who were influenced me, and a guy named Roland Fatty Taylor and Bernie Williams. It's not something you're born knowing, and to have somebody right there who could be a mentor to you. They've been mentored too, and then the mentor becomes the mentee. So that's what that's all about, and that's not a paid position. It's something that I think is just the right thing to do, to pass it on to the next guy, the knowledge that you've gained, especially in your first few years, and you're making that transition from being an amateur to a pro.
All right. But that's like playing. He was playing with those guys. They were peers at the time. They were coming into the league.
Yeah.
He was still in the league.
And it's like, I don't know. I mean, I think that Joel Embiid does know who Dr. J is. There's no doubt about that in my mind. But he's coming into this. He's 19 years old. He finally starts playing. Now he's 21 when he finally starts playing, or getting ready to turn 21. Does Dr. J still around him? I mean, Dr. J has been retired at that. I don't know. I just don't know what the scenario was that it would have come up.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't. All right. He mentioned a couple of LaSalle players. Those Sal ears perked up there. He mentioned Roland Fatty Taylor and Bernie Williams. They're LaSalle's greats.
That's when he was here. I heard him.
Yeah.
It does give him a little bit of how it's been for him.
Those LaSalle greats, right? Temple
Go
Man.
Explorers.
Yeah.
Big Five.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
All right, let's go.
Great respect.
No.
Ray's jelly.
We were at the last-
Jealous of what?
We were at the LaSalle's last home game.
We were. Yeah, we
Saw
were
you
both
there.
there.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, it was Fran Duffy's
saw Tom
last game.
Slack in
Yeah,
the
we
last
did.
game.
It was a who's who. There's a lot of people there. It was a great game.
All right, let's go to the phones. Let's talk to Owen in Old City first, who wants to talk about this whole thing. Go ahead, Owen.
Hey, Mike.
How are you?
Thanks for taking my call.
My
Good,
pleasure.
Good. Long-time listener. Love the show. I agree with Ray's side. I mean, I think it just goes to show how inept the Sixers organization is. I mean, why wouldn't they connect a legend like Dr. J to an incoming player like Joel Embiid for advice? I know they didn't play in the same era, but, I just think it just goes to show how the Sixers are just a dumpster fire.
Yeah, I don't know if I go that far with make this example make the Sixers a dumpster fire. They have some problems in so many other areas as far as performance on a basketball court. But I don't know. Like what are they supposed to do? Just throw two guys in a room and say chat it up? Like I don't understand how that works. Like in passing, if Julius Irving and Embiid cross each other's path and they chat for a little bit, maybe that's the more natural way of doing it.
Yeah. I mean, is
Look,
Tim Duncan
it's on
calling up
Joel's
Wemby?
side
Like,
as
I don't
well.
know. I just don't know that this is a normal thing.
Yeah, I think it's on the player's side as well to reach out for advice, right? I know he was a 19-year-old coming into the league. But, like, you look at it like a Jalen Hurts. I mean, even in the offseason, he's reaching out to, a Michael Jordan, a Derek Jeter. You don't think he's intimidated by reaching out to those guys?
But he's doing that. He's taking the responsibility of doing that. Embiid is the guy that if he wanted to talk to Julius Irving, could probably talk to him at any time he wanted.
Yeah.
Like Embiid's the guy who probably doesn't want to do it.
I also think that he would talk to somebody different.
Yeah, I do think the older players, they want to be asked for advice.
I agree.
Just a quick story. My brother caddied for Mike Schmidt a couple years back.
Uh-huh.
And my brother asked him, he was like, what are your thoughts on Alec Boehm as a third baseman? And this was kind of during, like, his fielding woes or whatever. But he was a little miffed as well that the Phillies didn't reach out to him for advice, whether that be fielding or hitting. And, Mike Schmidt's a little bit of a curmudgeon, but, I think these, legendary players in the city, they do want to get reached out to from advice.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I agree.
With emerging players.
Yeah, they want to feel that they're still involved and it's still necessary and still needed and all that thing. I get that part of it. I just don't get the part where, like, you have to throw two guys in a room, like, and why the Sixers would be culpable. If Joel Embiid probably can get a cell phone number for Julius and have a combo with him.
Doesn't play the same position, doesn't play the same game. I mean, I don't know. Aside from being like, hey, I'm excited to try to build a legacy here like you did with the Sixers, I don't know what the conversation would have been like.
Yeah, I hear you.
In that regard.
And maybe those guys, like, the players of today have such an ego. It's like they don't need to talk to anybody. Like, I don't want to lower myself to like, I've arrived here. I don't want to, like, have to say, hey, how do I play? You know what I'm saying?
I think some do. I think there's some guys that would be like, oh, it'd be really cool if I could talk to so-and-so. But I don't think it's about getting better at their game. I think it's just about, like, shooting the breeze. You know what I mean? Like, hey, tell me how it was with you and what can I do to, like, take this team as mine. I think it's more of an overall picture. I don't think they're looking to these guys for, like, basketball advice.
Yeah.
They get enough of that between coaches and support staff and the guys they're playing with. I mean, you talk to these guys right now and they say, like, their favorite players, they're generally guys that they're currently playing with or just retired. They're not guys that they grew up watching. These guys don't name Michael Jordan anymore. They name Steph Curry. They name LeBron. They name Kevin Durant. That's who they look up to. They don't look up to guys. Stop it. That's not.
PG.
Why?
Podcast P.
I was trucking along there, Ray.
Ace Bailey.
Are you down on Paul George?
Yep.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are you down on Embiid?
No.
You're not?
I mean, no, not.
I'm down on evereverody.
Yeah, I could tell. I know. You said you were out. You said you weren't going to the play.
Everybody I'm down on.
I was just
I'm down on Kelly Oubre. I'm down on them all.
You're not down on Jared McCain and Tyrese Maxey, are you?
I'm not. No.
You're not anywhere, I guess.
But I'm not. I'm not a Maxiophile either.
Oh, see.
Yeah, I think he's a good player. I don't think he's a lead player.
Okay. I don't
think you can build a team around Tyrese Maxey. Is what I'm saying.
Really?
Yeah.
I think some people said you couldn't have built a team around Tyrese Halliburton.
Tyrese Halliburton's 6'6". You
So
can
it's
build
the
a
height
team
thing.
around.
You're a heightist.
You cannot build around a 6'2" guard, unless
it's Allen Iverson.
Well, unless it's Allen Iverson, and in a lot of ways Jalen Brunson. But you saw how that worked out.
I think the days of, like, having, like, a singular star is just you have to have somebody else that's almost on that level. Like, you look at, like, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or Halliburton. I mean,
both tall.
Okay, they also have other guys around them. They are both tall.
Both tall. That's the difference. Wingspan,
all right,
tallness.
Good. Talk yourself into Trey Johnson coming along. No, but I hear you on that. I'm not going to discount him just because he's 6'2.5" or whatever.
Well, give me some other 6'2.5" guards other than Allen Iverson and Brunson.
Oh yeah, that is two. What about Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland?
Where they win?
They were the best team in the East. I'll take that for starters.
Yeah, they didn't win.
Oh. Doesn't mean they can't win.
Mitchell's 6'4".
Is he?
Yeah, he's 6'4".
Okay, well that's not that much.
Garland's a nice player, but you going to build a team around Darius Garland?
Cleveland is. They need a good front court. Obviously, Evan Mobley is a very good player for them.
Got to be tall. 610-632-0975. You want to climb in? Mike Missanelli Show continues.
We want to hear from you, so text us
10:42, Mike Missanelli Show. Yeah, we got a couple drafts coming up. NBA draft is June 25th. I'm going to talk about that in a second because I'm looking at a story in The Athletic, a guy that covers the league who's got the Sixers trading out not once but twice in the first round. The NHL, though, having theirs on the 27th, and 97.5 in the Fanatic has a live broadcast with Flyers leadership and alumni to celebrate the first night of the NHL draft, Amy. Friday, June 27th, 6 to 10 at the Hard Rock Hotel Casino in Atlantic City.
I love it. Let's go. I'll be at Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I'll be doing Phillies that day on the 27th. I'll be excited to watch.
$6 per person to commemorate the Flyers selecting 6th overall.
That's it?
Proceeds benefit Flyers charities. Complimentary food vouchers included, along with access to raffles and giveaways. Special appearances include Flyers governor. Governor?
Yes.
Dan Hilferty, is that what he is?
Absolutely.
He's the governor?
Yeah, of the Flyers.
Okay. Flyers
Yeah.
head coach Rick Tocchet, alums Mark Recchi, Rex, and the Fridge, Todd Fedoric, and more.
Just for $6?
There you go,
That's
$6.
a steal.
Click events at 975thefanatic.com for all the info. The NHL draft is always exciting. I always set my alarm for that.
I will be watching along with the
it's-
Phillies game that night.
It's breathtaking. When
I like the one
I'm shocked they didn't ask you to be a part of this
The
one,
one
Mike.
thing I do like about the NHL draft is because the guys are just like sitting. They don't have them. Usually, they're not like sitting out in the tables like the NBA draft
yeah.
or the green room, whatever. They're like in the stands with their family.
Or they're in Saskatchewan somewhere.
Yeah, Saskatoon, Moose Jaw. But they like come like this. Like they just get up from the stand, so it makes it seem like they're just like regular Joes. Like, oh, that's fun. And when that's how it's designed. But I always think that's a funny aspect of it.
Yeah, and none of them. It's interesting because none of them have a chance to get to the league, unlike the NBA draft.
None of them.
Well, right, like at that moment.
Yeah, good call. You're right. Yeah, like they don't all of a sudden
it's
like in 6
least-
months they're going to be like
they're
playing
like
in a real
3
game.
years away.
Yeah,
from it.
yeah. You're lucky. Like if it's a Matt Michkov, 2 years. Well, his was a special exception.
Correct.
But a Connor McDavid, like those are the exceptions
Exactly.
to the rule.
Now I'm going to throw a bone to my school. Apparently, the guy who's projected to be the number one pick in the 2026 draft is going to Penn State. Da-da-da-da-da. Come on, Abe. Da-da-da.
No.
Da-da-da-da. What?
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah.
Is he actually going to go there?
His name's McKenna. Yeah, I think he's a junior, and he's going to go to Penn State for 1 year before the draft.
Just to,
Or he's selected.
just to try something fun? Hey, let's
It
try
ain't
college
fun.
for
They
you.
were a good program. They were in the Final Four
Oh, I
this
know.
year.
Frozen Four. But yes,
Well,
I
Frozen
know that.
Four.
He was actually quoted in the story as saying, "This is what it will take to get Mike Missanelli to watch."
There you
hockey."
go. McKenna, his
McKenna.
name is. Give me some intel on McKenna, Ray.
Yeah, you
name's
know,
McKenna?
What's the
hockey and Penn
what's the
State,
story?
two things I keep up big
What's
time
the story on this McKenna
McKenna?
kid?
Gavin, is it Gavin McKenna?
Gavin McKenna?
I don't know. Oh yeah, Gavin McKenna. How about that?
Yeah, what's the deal? Because I heard this in passing. Penn State's going to grab this kid who's expected to
wait.
be the number one pick in the
So
2026
is this
draft.
real? Well,
real.
We're all magically
Do you
looking.
think I was making this up?
I think you were hopeful.
No, this is a story I read that the kid's taking it for Penn State.
Okay.
You got that story, Ray?
Penn State has emerged as a front runner. I asked a bunch of people around, said if you had to pick where he's going to play next year, most of them
Speculates.
picked Penn State.
Look at
It's
that.
not. Well, it's pure speculation.
Oh, it's speculation?
Yeah, he's not signed on. Highly touted prospect. Penn State is considered the favorite, but so is Michigan and Michigan State. Oh, what if
you
you
want
went
to go
to
there
Michigan?
for?
Wow.
Why would you go there? Penn State was in the Frozen Four
There you go.
last year.
Who was in the Frozen Four outside of them?
Three other teams.
Good call.
No,
Did
it
not
was
consider
A
that.
Boston team was in there. I think BU, right?
Yeah, Boston, they were there.
Yeah.
Western Michigan and Denver.
Well, there
Denver,
you go.
I feel like, is almost always
yeah,
in
Denver's there. Western
Denver's there
Michigan,
a
a
lot.
powerhouse where Jonesy went.
See, I don't think you can pass up. I'm sure Boston used in the mix. You can't really pass up that education.
Where at Boston
At
U?
BU?
Yeah.
My daughter did. She got accepted and decided not to go.
So did I.
Oh,
to
you
be
did?
clear.
Why didn't you go to BU?
You know what this industry pays. I'd still be in debt, crippling debt if I went to
If
BU.
you went to BU?
Yeah.
That's only $65,000.
It was 70 when I got
is
accepted.
it? Jesus.
Syracuse was the one that was only 65.
Yeah, I was going to have to dig deep for that, and my daughter flipped it on me.
Well, that's good.
So, yeah. She wound up going to Penn State. I go, oh, that's a pretty good, significant little tuition situation.
Amy, don't dance this music.
Amy's grooving. Amy's grooving. She knows that that's a better theme song than Kentucky.
That's incorrect.
Wow.
It's not even remotely close.
I don't know.
Ours
A lot
is
of
amazing.
championships coming out of Penn State these days, Amy.
Really? What championship came out of Penn State?
Well, they were in the Frozen Four. They won the volleyball, the national title. They won the wrestling
Kentucky
national
won the
title.
volleyball national title 2 years ago.
Well, that's 2 years ago.
They also have
What's current?
8.
What is the most current thing? Penn State's got 2 national championships.
Rifle, I believe.
This year. Oh, they won rifle?
They're really good at rifle. It's actually like bizarre. They actually had a couple of Olympians too.
Really?
Yes.
A lot of riflesmen out there?
Listen, it's a lovely state.
It's Kentucky.
Commonwealth. I don't know. I don't know why they're good at rifle. They just are. They're also good at cheerleading, and they're not terrible at basketball.
They're all right basketball. Yeah.
They'll watch out for this year.
Oh, this year? This is the year?
I say that every year.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, I don't say that every year. That's not true.
Yeah, I don't
I don't say that
think
every
Penn
year.
State plays basketball. Do they? I don't think
I've been to your
really?
basketball facilities, yeah.
Oh, well,
that when who was the coach there? Patrick
Chambers.
Chambers, yeah, Pat Chambers.
Pat Chambers
Yeah.
got in a little trouble there. He's now at Florida Gulf Coast. Let's go back to the phones. Derek in Las Vegas checking in. What's up, Derek?
What's going on, Mikey, man?
How are you?
Doing today?
How's it going?
I'm doing incredible myself. So I kind of want to like touch off like the point you guys were just like making just before the last break, where you guys were talking about like sub 6'4" guards or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I would only say like Maxi's like one of the only exceptions to being like a Jalen Brunson in the sense that he's more like a 6-foot guard as opposed to being like one of those quicker like AI type of guard. But yeah, it's almost impossible to have that. Like if your point guard is your main usage player, like you're not winning championships. That's just not how the NBA.
Yeah,
is
I'm listening. Like he's a good player. I like him, but like you can't build around a guy. Like he's a 6'2" guy, a little bit of the liability on defense. He can't play with McCain really in the same backcourt. So there's only so much you can do with Maxey. Now he's a tremendous asset for a team. I'm just saying you can't build around unless you're Allen Iverson, which is a miracle. Unless you're Tiny Archibald, you can't build around the guys that are 6'2".
Yeah, I don't see him. You give him 50% usage, and they'll take us there. He's not like we tried that last year and it didn't work. So we already seen like what kind of the roof in him. But like my whole point, the reason I was calling is like I've been out on the Sixers team for years. Like honestly, like it's probably about 3 years now that I have had no emotions about the team. Come playoff time, everyone's getting excited. Like I never wanted James Harden. I was out on that. I was out on Paul George entirely. Like I don't even know what planet the general manager, the ownership, or anybody was even thinking on that, thinking that this is going to fix the team. Like this, there's horrible management going on in the front office. Like that's basically where it starts with this team. Like I was calling for the to be a team like more like the OKC years ago. That everybody laughed me off the phone. What has OKC done? They're a terrible team.
They build it the right way. Let's look at the way OKC and Indiana build it.
You have to like when you're overloaded with too many players and they're all playing the same position. You have to find a way to break it up. Indiana did that. They got rid of the kid that they got what's his name, Halliburton for, which we could have had either one. We could have had Halliburton, or we could have had the kid that they sent from Indiana. Like any one of them for what's his name, for Simmons would have been a better player.
Sabonis is who they got rid of.
Yeah, Sabonis. And instead we doubled down, like, hey, you know what? Let's go get James Harden and let's give up draft picks in the same process. Like, how bad can you guys be at running the team? Like, this is like the worst organizational management I've ever seen.
Way down on this team. Way down on the organization. Way down.
I don't know.
610-632-0975.
He's out. He's been out though.
He's been out, but
He was
which
out
is
before
not
James
fair.
Harden.
That's
a little much.
Yeah, it is. Now I'm out. Now I'm just nobody is going to pull me back in.
Oh, they are.
They're not going to pull me back in.
I can't wait.
They're not. 610-632-0975. Charles Barkley's coming up at 11:15 to react what the commissioner said. Crazy uncle. What? Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies Blue Jays this weekend. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies enjoyed the day off yesterday after taking 2 of 3 from the Cubs earlier this week. They'll welcome the Toronto Blue Jays to town for a 3-game weekend set tonight. The Blue Jays did take 2 of 3 from the Phillies earlier this month in Toronto. Tonight it will be Rangers Suarez matched up with Kevin Gausman on the mound. First pitch at 6:45 down at Citizens Bank Park. The NHL Finals continued to deliver last night. The Oilers tied up the series, the back of a 5-4 overtime win. That series all knotted up at 2 now. As for the NBA Finals, Thunder looking to tie it up at 2 games apiece with the Pacers. Tonight we'll have the live broadcast of the game with pregame coverage beginning at 7:30 right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And talking basketball, you want to talk to Charles Barkley? We will have a conversation with Charles Barkley coming up at 11:15. Talking basketball, Sixers, whatever's on his mind. Of course, his reaction to what Adam Silver had to say on the Dan Patrick Show about Inside the NBA. The Union hosts Charlotte FC Saturday at 7:30. You catch the live call of that game right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. This update's brought to you by WhatsApp. On WhatsApp, your personal messages stay private because your personal messages are yours. No one else can see or hear them, not even WhatsApp. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for NBA Finals action, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
10:58, Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. Charles Barkley is coming up at 11:15. I got to talk some Sixers. I'm looking at these mock drafts that are now coming out.
Yep.
And The Athletic has one. So now it's the first two picks of the draft are the two usuals. Harper goes 2 to the Spurs, and there's some rumors that the Sixers trying to move down to 2 with the Spurs, but I don't know what's going on with that. Obviously, Cooper Flagg, number 1 to Dallas Mavericks. And here come the Sixers now with the third pick, Amy. Projection.
Yep.
Hornets trade number 4 and number 32 to Philadelphia for number 3 and Andre Drummond.
Okay. Hold on.
Oh, won't see him no more.
So the Sixers would get.
They trade out. They trade out of 3,
and they would get 32 and what was
and number 4.
I'd do
now,
that.
all right. So Hornets take VJ Edgecombe.
Yeah.
Now we get the 4.
And then they trade that one.
Sixers trade out of 4. Wizards trade number 6 and number 18 to the Sixers for number 4 and Eric Gordon. So now they've got rid of Drummond and Gordon, which is good. You get rid of dead weight.
So now you have 6, 18, and 32?
6, 18, and 32.
32 you would trade away. You don't need that.
Number 5, the Utah Jazz. Guess who they take?
They take Ace Bailey.
They take Trey Johnson. Ace
go.
Bailey is going to 4.
Oh, he
the
went
Washington
4.
Wizards take Ace Bailey at 4.
Because they don't want. So then the Sixers would take Con Knipple at 6.
Well, let's see.
I'm waiting with bated breath.
It is Con Knipple.
I haven't read the article, but that's who.
Con Knipple.
Hey, I won
at
something.
6. The 19-year-old from Duke. How do you feel about that?
I like the idea of acquiring 6 and 18. I think 32. That would be you would just probably trade that to somebody in the that wants to get into the first round that might not be in the back half of the draft. I like the idea. You know, getting off the Andre Drummond. I mean, we think you and I have talked about this. Getting off some of the contracts is really important, so you can free yourself up. Eric Gordon is on a minimum, so I don't know. It does free up just a body. I didn't mind Eric Gordon being here in the fact that it was a minimum salary. But if you really just want to have a more productive player and younger, that's what they want. You certainly. I just don't. That seems an incredible
2 moves
pipe dream to have. You've moved off both your guys, and now you have 3 first-round picks. I just don't know.
All right, we'll continue with that conversation. It's Mike Missanelli Show on 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. We broadcast every day from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. So, with the 6th pick, they take Knipple. Now they got 18 now in that trade with the Wizards. Let's see who they project at number 18.
Give me a center.
See.
Give me a forward. What about the kid from St. Joe's? Was she a Fleming?
No, they didn't take Fleming.
Forward, though.
They take Danny Wolf, the 6'11" kid from Michigan from Yale.
Yeah. He's an older guy. All right.
You digging that?
I mean, you definitely need some size. I would think at 18 you're going for a forward for sure.
All
You
right.
could shoot.
Let's see now as we
Did
move
they take him at
further down.
32 is what the second round. So
Fleming is projected to go number 29 to the Phoenix Suns.
that's low. I've seen him higher than that.
The Sixers, with the number 33 pick, take Adu Thiero,
Oh,
the 21-year-old wing from Arkansas.
he didn't start at Arkansas, Mike.
Where did he start? Kentucky?
Yeah.
Oh, he was a Kentucky reject.
Terrio is his name.
They also get number 35 in this.
What scenario is this? They have 4 picks, 2 second rounders, 2 first rounders.
Yeah, they get a 35 pick. They take another big, Yannick Conan Niederhauser from Penn State. Come on, Ray, let me hear it.
You just said Penn State didn't have basketball. You cannot get on board.
6'11" big from TSU.
No, you said
All right.
Penn State doesn't have basketball.
Yeah, I remember they did. Okay, so there you go. Anybody okay with that? Yeah, you can stay at 3, take Ace Bailey. Or
You're going for a
VJ
center.
Edgecombe.
Why would you take the kid from UConn that was there for all those years? I would think he would be in the 30s. Kalkbrenner?
The kid from
UConn.
no, he's not from UConn.
Creighton.
Yeah, he's
Sorry.
from Creighton.
Creighton.
Yeah, he's projected to
Where is
go
he?
23 to the
No.
Indiana Pacers.
That guy is not a wow.
23.
It doesn't strike me as a first-round pick.
He doesn't strike me either, but
All right.
there he is.
Some people, I guess it is for them.
All right. Liam McNeely, by the way, who comes out of Connecticut, thinking that he was going to be a top 10. Projected to go 19.
Yikes.
That's a mistake. Back to school, kid. All right, let's go to Reggie. Is currently in New Mexico, our
Yes.
traveling truck driver.
Las Vegas, New Mexico, maybe.
Where are you, Reg?
Continental Divide, 7,337 feet above sea level.
The Continental
Wow.
Divide. We all learned about that in geography class.
And the John Candy movie.
That's
yes.
right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. First off, happy Father's Day weekend, Mike. You and I are celebrating 4 days instead of one, and we don't want no dress socks or a tie.
We're celebrating 4 days instead of one? I'm lost there.
We
What?
need four.
What's
Well,
that?
Mother's Day, they get the entire month, right?
They do?
I got
Yeah,
it.
well-
I got a morning.
You got a morning? Okay.
I mean, I got the whole day. I went to the golf. I had a great day on Mother's Day.
They let you
Okay,
play
well,
golf on your Mother's Day?
No, I went to the
Yeah.
Truist. That was what I
Oh,
did.
that's right.
That's what I did for Mother's Day.
There you go.
Lovely.
Well, Amy, happy Mother's Day belated, but
Oh,
happy
thank you,
Mother's Day
Reggie.
every day.
And happy Father's Day every
Good
day.
morning, Ray. Good morning, Ray. How you doing?
Wonderful.
Ray's
Can't complain.
going to celebrate Father's Day on Sunday.
Am I?
Yes.
I'm telling you, there's
Might as
too much
well. What the
discussion.
hell? What's the difference?
Take your time, Ray. Take your time.
Never know what went on in that Temple campus, Reggie. You know what I'm saying? You never know. What's on your mind today about the Sixers, pal?
Oh, man, wow. I can remember the 9 and 72 team. Freddie Mad Dog Carter was the point guard. I'm going to say, what is that, 72 or 73?
72-73 season, yes.
Yeah, so I've been, I still like the team, but overall, the whole NBA, to me, would be a much better product. I know it'll never happen. It'll be a much better product if they reduce the season by 20 games, to me. I know it'll never happen because they do all the economics and each team.
Yeah.
But like you, I'm not going to be reeled back in. I'm still a Sixers fan because birthplace team, and I was at the parade, and I've met Dr. J. Well, handshake, but I've met some of the players way back then, so I still like them. But it feels like, as I told what's his name, TJ, when I spoke with. It feels like a corporation where
Who do you talk to,
players
Ray?
are
Who's
on-
back there? Oh, TJ, call screen, yes. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it feels like a corporation where the players are on the first floor and the upper management is up on floor 100. I mean, there's what's the word I can use? Chasm. And all the ones, and Daryl Morey is supposed to have about 1,800 assistants or
Yeah, he's got close to that. Yep.
We don't need all that. That's why there's so much.
Well, apparently 17 of them aren't giving them the right advice. I don't know what's going. Listen, they're going to play a season. Okay, a lot of people have optimism. I do not. And I hate myself for it. I've seen this movie before, and I'm not going to get anything different. That's the way I feel. So what am I going to do through a whole season? Am I going to just take myself out of the whole? No. I'll be interested in each game. I'll be here to be critical
You're
of
not
Paul
going to
George.
open your heart. You're going to keep closed off.
I just don't think. To me, it doesn't. You can't have a happy ending with this season. 610-632-0975. Right? It's not a happy ending.
It's not.
All right.
There won't be.
Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies Blue Jays this weekend. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies enjoyed a day off yesterday after taking 2 of 3 from the Cubs earlier this week. They'll now welcome the Toronto Blue Jays to town for a 3-game weekend set starting tonight. The Blue Jays took 2 of 3 from Phillies earlier this month in Toronto. Tonight will be Ranger Suarez against Kevin Gausman on the mound. First pitch coming up at 6:45 down at Citizens Bank Park. NHL Finals, another big game last night as the Oilers tied up the series on the back of a 5-4 overtime win over the Panthers. As for the NBA Finals, the Thunder will look to tie it up at 2 games apiece in the series with the Pacers tonight. We'll have the live broadcast of the game with pregame coverage beginning at 7:30. You can listen to it all live right here on The Fanatic. And coming up next, you'll be able to listen live on The Fanatic as we speak to Charles Barkley about the NBA, the 76ers, anything that's on his mind. And of course, what Adam Silver had to say about inside the NBA when he was on the Dan Patrick Show earlier this week. That's coming up in less than 10 minutes' time. The Union hosts Charlotte FC this Saturday at 7:30. We'll carry that game live for you right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. This update's brought to you by Macy's Backstage. What we find at Macy's Backstage, how about essential warm weather styles, $30 and under, like dresses, shoes, and bags, men's and kids' looks. Find the latest trends, new arrivals, and great prices at a Macy's Backstage near you. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for NBA Finals action, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
It's 11:15. It is the Mike Missanelli Show. Amy Fidel sitting in with us today. Well, yesterday we played a little soundbite from Adam Silver. I think it was on the Dan Patrick Show, right? Ray, let me hear Adam again here before we introduce our next guest. Here's Adam Silver yesterday from the Dan Patrick Show.
They made a decision to take an entertainment route with that studio show. I mean, I think ESPN was always about more hardcore basketball. Maybe NBC was somewhere in the middle in the old days, but it's an entertainment show, and he's entertaining, and fans seem to love it. Sometimes he's a bit of the crazy uncle, I think, but even when I think there's a difference when putting aside, how focused he is on the game. My sense always, when Charles is critical, it is a little bit like your uncle at the Thanksgiving table being critical. It's like, there's no doubt it comes from a place of love. I don't feel the same way about some of the other commentators. And I think Charles found a lane, and he does it well. And it'll be interesting to see how that converts. As you know, they're now bringing that studio show to ESPN and ABC next year. Yeah. I think, we'll see how that works out. I mean, I love the fact that those guys are still going to be involved in our telecast, but, I'm not sure whether it will be produced differently for them or there'll be a different expectation from ESPN and ABC fans or watchers than maybe what people are seeing late at night on TNT.
Well, there it is. Crazy Uncle. He's our next guest. The Crazy Uncle joins us, the great Charles Barkley. Chuck, how you feeling today?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. Played golf the last 2 days. Tonight's my last game. I'm excited because I'm on vacation for the next 4 months, so I am pumped right now. I'm not going to lie. I played golf the last 2 days, and tonight I'm working on NBA TV. We have to do 2 games in the finals.
Uh-huh.
I gave Kenny and Shaq game 1, game 2. So I work game 3, I work game 4, then I'm off until October. So I am so freaking excited to get this thing over with tonight. And I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm really pumped for it. I'm really pumped to get this over with because I'm ready for vacation.
All right, so you're not back in town yet?
No, I'm in Indiana. Okay. I got to work the game tonight.
All right. So you haven't made the Philly move yet for the summer.
Oh well, I was there last week.
Okay.
Because I was off for game 1 and game 2, so I moved back to Philly last week, and I am pumped, man. I am pumped for the summer. I love vacation. I mean, I get to play golf. I get to play golf every day for the next 4 months, basically.
I know.
I got to find. Yeah, I got to find a golf club in Philly to join.
Well, I can hook you up. You want to join?
You're at Waynesboro, right?
No. I'm Waynesboro. I'll hook you up.
I like what.
I know you do. We've been talking about playing for forever. I'm gonna pin you down. This is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do for you.
Because you're ducking me because you're a coward.
No, I'm not ducking you. You say you won't play on weekends. I happen to have a day job. You know what I'm saying? You won't play on weekends. So here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to take a vacation day just to play with you.
Mike, I'll play you. We can play. So what time do you work? Tell me your hours.
I'm 10 to 2. I'm going to have to take a day off for you.
So what? We can't play at 3?
Well, we can play at 3. I guess we can play at 3. You want to play at 3?
We can play at 3.
So that means 3. I just get out of the car and go to the first tee?
Wait, you got an hour. You got an hour to relax.
Hour? What do you think? What do you think? I can click my fingers and arrive at the tee? I got to drive there.
Okay, that's why I said 3.
All right, sounds good. Let's get to the business at hand. You just heard what the commissioner said about you. He called you the crazy uncle. You going to take that?
Hey, man, listen. I am so lucky and blessed to have my job. I have 7 years left on my contract at $25 million a year. I'm the best at what I'm the best at what I do. So I'm good. They can call me whatever they want to. You
just revealed your salary.
Everybody knows it. I signed for 10 years, $200 and some million. I'm good, man. I ain't work. I'm not. So That's why, like I say, everybody knows how much I make. It's been in the news for the last few years when I signed my deal.
That's more than Stephen A, bro. That's more than Stephen A making.
Well, listen, I don't compare what other people make. I know how much I make. I'm very lucky and blessed and thankful. And I got to figure out how much longer I'm going to work. And I'll figure that out. I'm holding all the cards and making all the decisions. And I wish the NBA great luck on NBC and Amazon and obviously ESPN. I wish them great success, and I hope they do great.
All right, I'm trying to cause trouble here, so I'm going to work this angle
There's no trouble.
even more. No, I'm trying to cause trouble. What he said about you.
Dude, there's no trouble. There's no trouble. I make $25 million a year. How can I have trouble?
No, that's a good way of looking at it. But I noticed that
No. There's no good way. That's a great way.
All right, it's a great.
I'm getting paid. Listen, we lost the NBA. We're going to be doing on ESPN next year. I'm looking forward to working for ESPN, but it's only a great way.
All right, so it doesn't bother you that he called you the crazy uncle. That's what I'm getting to.
Not at all.
All right.
Everybody knows who I am and what I do. I'm very good at what I do. And no, that doesn't bother me. I love Adam Silver.
I noticed that.
Listen, but I understand. We don't have the NBA anymore. He's got to pump up ESPN.
Uh-huh.
They Amazon, NBC. I met with both of them. They all tried to get me to leave TNT. But Amazon, I wish them great success. NBC, I wish them great success. We're going to be shown on NBC, on ESPN going forward. And like I say, I'm going to figure out how much longer I want to work. But worst case scenario, I have 7 years left on my deal, and I'm in a great situation, to be honest with you.
You'll be almost 70 years old by then.
Still killing it.
Yeah, but I'm not working that long, Mike.
You told me you weren't working until 60 either. Look at you. There you got a new 7-year contract making $1 zillion.
No, that's not true. That's not true at all. I will tell you, I've been very honest. Everybody knows TNT, I was going to retire at 60. TNT begged me to stay for 2 more years, which I said, okay, I'll stay to 62, which is where I'm at right now. But I didn't realize they were going to be stupid and lose the NBA deal because I was going to pass the torch to Jamal Crawford or Vince Carter. I did not know they were going to lose the NBA deal. This was, in a perfect world, this was going to be my last year. And they said, hey, let people think you're leaving. I said, whatever y'all want to do, y'all do. They said, we're going to give you a 10-year deal. I said, I don't want a 10-year deal. I'm not working 10 years. They're like, we want the NBA to think you're going to stay for 10 years. I said, I'm not staying for 10 years. I said, I'll stay for 2 more years, which is now. But the only reason I'm staying, the only reason is to keep the people employed at TNT. I'm not worried about Shaq, me, Kenny, and Ernie. But the people I work with, I love those guys. And I said, I will stay if y'all going to keep y'all jobs. So that's the true story. But I already know when I'm going to retire. Everybody knows it. I told them.
When?
Everybody.
When are you going to retire?
In 2 years. I told them I would stay 2 years.
2 years. You're going to retire in 2 years. You got a 7-year deal, $25 million. You want to just put that aside?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's a lot more
I'm not
golf.
going to work. Mike.
Yeah.
I have no reason to work till I'm dead. That's stupid.
I got you.
I gave them my word. I said, everybody's at TNT going to keep their job. Okay, I will keep working. But I'm only working for 2 more years, plain and simple.
Yeah, you know you're going to leave $125 million on the table if you do that.
Well, hey, you know what? I just happen to have that much in my bank account, so I'm good.
All right, listen, let me talk some basketball with you.
Jay, hey, that's the good thing about it. I already got that in the bank, so I'm good. You can never keep working for money because you'll always be working. I'm happy with my life. I've had a great life. I'm honored and thankful to the NBA and fans for the life I have. But you don't keep working for money. The only reason I'm keep working now is for the people at TNT to stay employed.
All right, well, why don't you give me like 50% of that $25 million then? If it doesn't matter that much to you.
10%.
Yeah, I'll take.
No,
I'll take that.
Hey, no. No, I earned that.
I earned that. Let me talk some hoops with you. What's your NBA Finals prediction here? Are you surprised that the Indiana Pacers are up in this series?
Well, I'm surprised because your boy at OKC changed his starting lineup, trying to think he's out there being like Red Auerbach, trying to make basketball decisions. He got the best team in the world. He's got the best team in the world, and he changed his starting lineup for Game 1. You know, they've been the best team in the NBA all year, and for some reason, he thought he was Red Auerbach. You know, and the only person who did something. So this reminds me, back about 20-some years ago, Avery Johnson was coaching the Dallas Mavericks. They had the best team in the world. Best team in the world. So he plays against Don Nelson, who has a small lineup. Avery changes his lineup, and the number 1 seed Dallas Mavericks get upset by Golden State. And I said, this is the stupidest thing. The OKC Thunder have the best team. They've been the best team all year. And the coach, for some reason, think he's Red Auerbach. Like, let me try to make everybody think I'm the smartest dude in the world. And he changes up his lineup. And I honestly think he might have cost them the series. I do think this. I think whoever wins the game tonight is going to win the series. But if OKC loses this series, that was one of the worst decisions I've ever seen from a head coach. It was stupid. And like I say, I don't know if they can recover. But if they do lose this series, it's because the coach tried to think he's Red Auerbach and tried to reinvent the wheel. Instead of having the best team in the world, it's like, you know what? Even though we've won 70 games, we're in the NBA Finals, I'm going to change my starting lineup. I'm like, are you serious, dude? That was one of the worst decisions ever.
We'll see how this turns out. But speaking of stupid decisions, I know you got an opinion on this. You called the Knicks the stupidest damn people in the world for doing what they're doing.
Yeah. Why do you fire a coach who's successful and you don't have a succession plan? That makes zero sense whatsoever. I mean, you think about this. Tips did a great job, number one. Further this year than they did last year. They were 2 games from the finals. But, okay, you do what you want to. You know, it's your team. But at least you have a succession plan. They, I think they've been turned down by 5 coaches, 6, I think, maybe 6 by now.
Yeah, the organization said, no, we ain't doing that.
Yeah, so you don't fire somebody unless you have a succession plan in place. And now you're getting publicly humiliated. Like it'd be like if you just went around asking women on dates publicly, and they're like, "Nah, you're ugly," or something like that. Why would you do that? That makes zero sense whatsoever.
Isn't that your boy Leon Rose? Wasn't he your boy at one point?
Well, no, I like Leon, but I don't know him like that.
Okay.
You know, my boy is West.
Yeah, West.
Worldwide West.
Yeah, Worldwide West.
But I don't. This is almost getting to the point now where it's embarrassing. Because now, who are you going to get as a coach? I mean, if everybody is turning you down, I mean, it's just a really bad look, and I'm not sure what they're doing.
Yeah, we're talking to Charles Barkley, the great Chuck. Charles, I got to run this by because I know you have an opinion on this. The morning show today had Julius Irving on the show, and he revealed that he has never had a conversation with Joel Embiid. He's never been asked to sit down with him. He's never been asked by Embiid to have a conversation. So he can't give any career advice, health advice, wellness advice, career, whatever. And he seemed a little perturbed about that. How do you feel about Embiid not reaching out to Julius or the Sixers not reaching out to connect them both?
Well, I've never actually had a conversation with Joel Embiid either. I don't know Doc's situation, but I think I may have said hello to Joel Embiid twice in my life, just hello. But we've actually never had a conversation. and I can't speak for Doc. I can only speak for myself. So, but I
you think it would you think it would benefit Embiid if you guys like you and Doc had a conversation with him?
100%, 100%. Because Philly is a great city. That's why I live there during the summer. It's a very difficult city when things are not going well. But also, I think all young NBA players should talk to veteran guys because, Moses is the most important person in my NBA career because he made me lose 50 pounds and made me a great player. I think you can only benefit talking to Dr. J or myself, Andrew Toney, Maurice Cheeks, Bobby Jones, Clement Johnson, like talking to older veteran players. Like, man, we know the landscape of basketball first and foremost, but also Philly. And Joel's in a very interesting situation because, man, if he don't get healthy, man, it's going to be rough on him the next X amount of years.
What would you have told Joel? What would you tell Joel Embiid if you had a chance to talk to him like right now?
Well, I think the first thing I said, man, you got to get in better shape. I think one of the reasons he's gotten hurt. Number one, you can't do anything about getting hurt, but I think that his condition is he got to get better condition. Because at least if you're in great condition, you can get hurt less. That's just a no-brainer.
You don't think people have told him to get in better shape, though? Like he looks like this guy is going to do what he wants to do. Like, I mean, you guys talking to him on Inside the NBA. Shaq had some things for him. He said, "Yeah, you're right, Shaq," and then nothing really sinks in.
Well, I think one of the problems with all these young guys is they have so much power. They don't pay attention to the coach or. First of all, everybody, the general manager is afraid of them also. Because once you give them so much money, they're not going to listen to the coach. Because, Joel's never had a coach who would hold him accountable, first and foremost. Because he developed a lot of bad habits when he first got to the Sixers. I'll give you an example. Billy Cunningham is the best coach I've ever played for. So, I was out of shape and lazy. Moses told me that. I had to lose 50 pounds. But I wasn't starting. I wasn't playing as much as I should have. So Harold Katz, rest in peace, love Harold. So we're playing the Chicago Bulls. And Billy, he left Dr. J and Moses, they were not on time, okay? He didn't screw around. Like, we're going to leave at 5. If he saw those guys walking to the bus at 5, they're going to get freaking left. That's how great Billy was. He's a disciplinarian. I love that guy. So we're playing the Chicago Bulls, and the bus is late. And Billy's never late. So finally, about 10, 15 minutes later, Billy walks on the bus, and you can tell he got the red ass. Harold Katz goes behind his back and trade Mark Alvarone. And Billy, so obviously I think we don't know what's going on. So we get to the game, and Billy's like, guys, we traded Mark Alvarone. And I'm in shock. This is my first real NBA moment. I'm like, oh. Mark's starting in front of me, I'm probably going to start. And I was in shock, I'm not going to lie. Billy pulls me aside. He says, well, first of all, he said, Sam, you're starting. Sam Williams hadn't played in like 2 months. And Sam, you're starting. And I'm like, whoa, Sam ain't played in like 2 months. Billy pulls me aside. He said, Charles, Harold traded Mark behind my back. I have told you, you're out of shape. You're not starting. You're going to play, but you're not starting. Until you get in shape, you're not starting. you're not playing as much as you should be playing. Joel's never had a real coach who held him accountable.
I don't know if coaches like that exist anymore, but I hear the point.
Well, no, because the players have so much power. Well, that's one of the reasons our product is not as great as it should be, because we just let the players do what the hell they want to do. They're not held accountable anymore. I will always appreciate Billy Cunningham and Moses because I had success in college. I played about 290, 295, and I got drafted. And I couldn't play hard enough to be successful. But Moses, who, man, I call him Dad to the day he died, he worked with me before and after practice and made me lose 50 pounds to make me a great, great player. And I think Joel's a nice kid, but I think him being not in the best conditioning is one of the reasons he's always been hurt. And I wish he had had a veteran like Moses from the beginning. I think his career would be a lot different. So that's how I answered your question. I would say, yo, man, you got to get him. I'll give you another example. So Brett Brown was trying to reconnect with all the older guys. So he invited me and Billy Cunningham to practice one day at the start of training camp. And me and Billy went down there, and they were doing light workout stuff. They're like, okay, we're ready to practice now. And this is like the first day of training camp. And Joel goes and sit down. And other guys scrimmage for like an hour and a half. And Billy says, we got to go. I said, why, Billy? He says, the best player, when they started scrimmaging, when they sit down instead of scrimmaging, this team is never going to be successful. Billy was pissed.
Wow.
I've never told that story publicly before. This was like the first day of training camp. Because, in the old days, we used to do two-a-days. We didn't care who the hell you were. You were going to practice twice a day. And so we went to the Sixers facility, and they started to scrimmage. And Joel goes and sits down instead of scrimmaging. And Billy says, we got to go. I said, Billy, we just got here. He says, the best player on their team, when they started scrimmaging, when they sit down, this team, and this is like probably 5 years ago.
Wow.
He says, this team is never going to be successful. Your best player has to set the tone. He says, this is the first day of training camp. Now, if we had been a week or two in, a week or whatever, yeah, you know what? You don't want to run your best player in the ground. But this was the first day of training camp. And when they started to scrimmage, he went and sat down. He said, because Brett said, hey, let's scrimmage. And Joel went and sit down. And I really think this. If Joel had had a real coach from the beginning, I think his career would be totally different. I think he would have been the greatest player. I do believe this. I think if he had like a real coach from the beginning, like a Billy Cunningham, I think he would have been the greatest player in Sixer history. I'm not saying no disrespect to Doc or Wilt Chamberlain or myself. I think if he had a real coach from the beginning who held him accountable, I think he would have been the greatest player in Sixer history.
Wow, Chuck, that's powerful stuff, man. Hey, listen, I just want to before I let you go, you owe us a co-host coming in. So, we're going to do that in August?
Yeah, we're going to do it in August.
All right.
Let me tell you something, Mike. Hey, let me tell you something. So, I bet big on Edmonton Oilers last night, and I bet big on Edmonton in the series. Last night, I took the boys out to smoke cigars. That's why my voice is a little raspy. And when Florida scored with like 15 seconds ago, I almost had a heart attack. and then overtime hockey is the greatest thing in the world.
It's pretty good. Yep.
Hey, Amy.
Yes, sir.
Why in the hell? Number one, keep doing your thing, girl. I love to watch you do your thing.
Thanks, buddy.
Why in the hell You let me talk to this pain in the ass.
Listen, this is his interview. I'm just sitting here.
I Amy could blood it, burst it any time.
You're telling good stories. I do.
Amy is so cool and professional. She lets you just
I
whole
know.
damn interview.
I know.
Hey, Amy, you got into questions?
I do have one. I heard through a birdie that you played Rolling Green last year from the tips, and you shot exceptionally well.
Hey, let me tell you something. There's a cheater over at Rolling Green. His name is Fran Duffy.
Duffy shot close to his age.
Oh, Duffy's like a 5 or 6, bro.
He shot close to his age.
Let me tell you something. Dump has the best tempo.
He does.
Yeah, he's fun to play golf with.
I played with him before, yeah.
You know what? He's the best. And number one, I want to congratulate him on retiring.
Yes.
He's the best dude. I used to play at Rolling Green with a guy named Dr. Lou DeBacco.
I played with him once. Yeah, I played with Lou DeBacco once.
Yeah, but Fran is the best. I bumped into Fran last week when I was in Philly. I can't wait to get back because he always takes me out to Rolling Green. I can't wait, man. I love Philly, and I'm waiting on my invitation to join a golf course there because I got to finally join a golf course because I need a place to practice.
Yeah.
I mean, I can play everywhere, but I need a place to practice.
Yeah.
Because I like to practice, and I'm playing great. I shot like a 78.
I know you're playing great.
I don't know if you can afford the initiation fee around here though, with $25 million a year. So yeah,
there's several to choose from.
Yeah,
not too far from you. What can you recommend?
Even though the government, hey Mike, even though the government's screwing me out a lot of taxes, apparently I got to start spending some money because I didn't realize how crooked our government was. Because I was working on my daughter's prenup. I got the best son-in-law in the world, but you can't trust people when it comes to money. So I'm not taking no chances. So I was working on my daughter's prenup, and they were telling me like, "Well, this is how much money," because my daughter's gonna get all my money. But then they're like, "Well, this is how much she's going to pay in taxes." I said, "What do you mean she got to pay this in taxes?" They're like, "Well, you got to pay her taxes when you give her this money." I said, "Wait, I've already paid taxes on that money." They're like, "Yeah, Chuck, our government is full of crap."
The death tax. The death tax.
Wait a minute. I got to pay. I've already paid taxes. Now I got to pay more taxes when I kill over?
Yep.
Man, the government, they're just damn crooks, plain and simple.
I got you. Listen, man, this has been fantastic. I just want to say one thing for the end. Adam Silver calls you crazy uncle, and your boy Dan Patrick didn't have your back. See, I would have had your back.
Let me tell you something. When I'm at my mailbox, the 1st and the 15th, that's the only 2 times I try to make sure I'm at the house. When I get that check on the 1st and the 15th, they can call me whatever they want.
I know. I'm just saying, I would have had your back. I would have had
the look on my face on the 1st and the 15th. Those are the 2 best days of my month.
Do me a favor. Take a picture.
I'll say today was payday.
Take a picture of that look and send it to me.
Today's payday.
I want to see that look.
Hey, Amy, it's today payday?
It sure is, my friend.
Is the day the 15th?
Well, the 15th is on Monday, so they pay you today.
Check your mailbox.
Check your deposit.
Check your deposit.
Amy,
yes, sir.
Amy, you smart. Is that
right.
real? Or they wouldn't wait till Monday?
They wouldn't wait till Monday. No, they'll pay you today. They probably went in last night at midnight.
Damn. Hey,
I know.
I'm in Indiana right now. I got to make sure nobody go near my damn mailbox.
That's right. You better check it. That's a big check sitting in there.
That's a big check in there. How much you bagged last night on the
That's
Oilers?
A great bet though on the Oilers.
Yeah. How much you bagged last night?
Oh, it was a big number. The bigger number is on the series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you got the Oilers winning the series?
Mike, hey, Mike, let me tell you something. When I get back to Philly tomorrow, the first thing I'm going to do, number one, I'm going to unpack my clothes. I'm a clean fanatic. I'm going to pack my dirty clothes because I've been on the road for 4 days. I'm taking my ass right to Valley Forge because I'm betting big on the Oilers tomorrow night, brother. Huge.
Oh, you like the oil. You like the oil, huh? All right.
I like the Oilers.
Well, listen, I'm telling you, last night we jumped up in that cigar bar, but tomorrow, as soon as I get back to Philly, I'm going straight to Valley Forge, and I'm betting the house and everything on the Edmonton Oilers tomorrow because, boy, that's going to be awesome.
All right. Well,
I'm
good
with you
luck
on
to
that.
you, brother. Hey, listen, man. Great talking to you. We'll hook it up
See you soon.
golf, and you got to make that. We'll bring you in for your annual co-hosting gig. Everybody looks forward to it. Thanks, Chuck. Have a good one tonight.
Wait. All right, thanks, brother. Y'all be safe.
All right,
Bye,
man.
Charles.
There he is, the great Charles Barkley. We took it for a long time. We ran through
It's
7
worth it,
breaks
though.
there. 7 breaks.
It's all
Ray?
worth it.
You all right?
It's all
Totally
worth
worth it.
All
It's
right.
like 2
I've been
breaks.
cracking up the entire time.
So good. He's the best.
Let's take a commercial break. We're back after this. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Hey, everybody, it's Bill Colarulo, and coming up at
11:50, Mike Missanelli Show. Here's how you get in, 610-632-0975. Charles was talking about that hockey game last night. Tay and Trav were there. Amy?
I did see that, yes.
You saw that?
I did. Well, it's hard to miss.
Now, TNT cameras panned to Swift, who had a reaction waiting for overtime.
Charles is right on a lot of counts, but especially when he said there's nothing quite like overtime.
It's
Stanley Cup
fantastic.
hockey. It's the best.
So
they've had three overtimes in four games.
Tay turns to Travis and
Yes.
said something.
Oh, do tell.
And they caught it on camera. The lip readers caught it on camera. What did she say? What did she say to Tay?
Did she guess the rules of olden time?
She was
Overtime?
anticipating overtime, and she turns to Travis and says, "My heart was like."
This is what.
That's what she said.
Okay.
My heart was like. My heart was like.
But she had like a physical.
She went like that.
Clutched her chest.
Yes.
Where her heart is.
My heart was like.
Well, it is very exciting. That's what there's people that pay for
There's
this
a
stuff.
story on that in the New York Post, the whole story.
There's probably several
This is what
stories
she
on that.
said. The headline says, here's what Taylor Swift said to Travis Kelce during the thrilling moment as the Stanley Cup final went into overtime. My heart was like.
My heart was like.
Right? Any impression?
SEO is the death of any good story. If you put Taylor Swift's name in a headline, you're going to get clicks just because people.
That's
Taylor
right.
Swift said what?
Yeah.
I saw the headline go, this is what Taylor Swift said to Travis Kelce. I'm like, I hate this hockey. Or something like something significant. I think we have to get up. We have dinner. My heart was like.
You'll never believe what Taylor Swift said to Travis Kelce at the Stanley Cup final.
Exactly.
Oh, my
Click,
God.
At
click.
11.
You got to click through. You have to click through all the ads to scroll down.
Oh, this is craziness.
There are 7 names in this world that if you put them in a headline, you're going to get enough clicks to fund yourself at least through the week.
Oh, Travis, my heart was like.
People love it. It's
All right,
good stuff.
let's go to the text board. What we got on the text board? Any Charles reaction?
Yeah, we got, of course, the obligatory Charles is the greatest text. We did
Correct.
get some people jumping in on a little bit of the Sixers conversation we had leading into Charles about the Athletics draft board.
Yeah,
and
the draft
all
board.
Moving around.
2 trades.
Yeah, we had one texter getting Con at 6, adding 18, and dumping Drummond and Gordon sounds like a dream scenario. Con might be my favorite player in the draft outside the top 2. Those 2 old guys are dead weight, and with Morey's drafting track record in recent years, getting an extra first rounder is huge.
Here's the question, Amy.
Yes, sir.
Is it worth it to get rid of Drummond and Eric Gordon and wind up with Con Knipple?
Or the 6th pick, yeah, which would be Concanipple.
Yeah.
The 6th pick, 18th pick, and in this scenario, also 32 and
33.
33 and 35.
Right.
Yeah, that would be
It
worth
is?
it for me. Yep.
Con Knipple. What kind of an NBA player is Con Knipple?
He's Klay Thompson without defense so far.
Okay. Is that good enough?
It's
Is he Klay Thompson? I mean,
Shooting-wise,
can
yes.
he, you think so?
I do think he could
In
be
the
that
NBA,
guy.
on an NBA level,
I
with
do
the
think he
great
could be that
defenders
guy.
that are in the NBA.
I mean, I think he could be that level. I do.
Okay.
But there's a lot of other drawbacks. Like, people don't forget. It's hard to look at Klay and think about what he was initially. Obviously, high-level scorer. You know that. He's just a pure shooter. I think Con Knipple could get close to that. Klay is a very good athlete and defender, though, before he was injured, and now he's a little bit older. So I don't think Con Knipple has that in his bag. So there is a real problem when you think about there's already defensive issues with the Sixers. So I would have some concerns, but hopefully you could pick up that wing defender at 18, and then maybe someone else at all the other picks. But I think that would be enough for me.
All right. Take a
I'm
quick
not in
break.
love with it, but I do like it.
I don't think I like Con Knipple at that level, but maybe I'm wrong. 610-632-0975. The news at noon is coming your way in like 5 minutes' time. We're back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies Blue Jays this weekend. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. We need a new water heater. Choose one that is built to be the best. Choose Bradford White. The Phillies enjoyed a day off yesterday after taking 2 or 3 from the Cubs earlier this week. Now they welcome the Toronto Blue Jays to town for a 3-game weekend set starting tonight. The Blue Jays took 2 or 3 from the Phillies earlier this month in Toronto. Tonight it'll be Ranger Suarez matching up with Kevin Gausman on the mound. First pitch at 6:45 down at Citizens Bank Park. NHL Finals continue to deliver a thriller last night as the Oilers tied up the series at 2 games apiece on the back of a 5-4 overtime win. As for the NBA Finals, Thunder looking to tie it up at 2 games apiece with the Pacers tonight. We'll have the live broadcast of the game with pregame coverage beginning at 7:30. You can listen to all live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And something you just listened to live at 11 o'clock hour. Charles Barkley talking basketball, 76ers. A little bit of what was on his mind, and of course, reacting to the comments from Adam Silver about inside the NBA from earlier this week on the Dan Patrick Show. If you want to listen back to Charles Barkley talking with Mike Miss and Amy Fadul, you can catch that on our website, 975thefanatic.com. And the Union hosts Charlotte FC tomorrow at 7:30. You can hear the game live right here on The Fanatic. This update is brought to you by Extreme Experience. Give Dad the ultimate driving experience at a Ferrari or Porsche on a real racetrack. Extreme Experience hits New Jersey Motorsports Park August 14th through 17th. Save 25% for Father's Day. ExtremeExperience.com. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for NBA Finals action, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
12 o'clock. It's the Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN and WPEN HD1. Joined today by Amy Fadol. Of course, this is Burlington, Philadelphia. And we do this show every day from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. It is noontime. Everybody having their lunch. Enjoy it over another rendition of The News at Noon with Ray Dunn.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the News at Noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All righty, the News at Noon. We got a little baseball action to start the News at Noon. Ray, Bob, what do you got?
Yeah, nothing better than a good hot mic scenario where the umpire gets caught with just screaming at the dugout. If you guys missed this yesterday, it was Mets Nationals in the afternoon. Umpire Chad Whitson correctly called ball. I want this to be very clear. He called ball 4. It was low on the pitch from Edwin Diaz. Carlos Mendoza obviously was sick of the strike zone from the game, started barking at the umpire. The umpire had enough of him. And you get to hear Whitson's response late in this.
3-0. And a slider misses, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. And Carlos Mendoza barking at the home plate umpire Chad Whitson. And Whitson looking at him.
Short views from Mr. Whitson, but maybe he's been hearing it from the bench all game.
I can't make him up. I'm not a magician.
I'm not a magician. Great line.
That's the umpire said that?
Yes.
Can't make him up. I'm not a magician.
Not a magician.
Umpires are told to keep their cool and stuff like that. But when you're human and somebody's barking at you from the dugout, man, don't you just want to pull off your mask and go bleep you? You know, I'd be a bleep you guy.
Well, if you noticed,
come on, respect my job. I'm doing the best I can here.
There was a little silent gap in that clip.
Yes.
I couldn't for certain tell what he originally said to him. And for safety purposes, we just went silent on that part of the clip. Because I think he did drop an F at him.
You did?
Yeah.
Ray, first of all, the announcer should have never talked over that exchange. He did for a little bit. Right? You got to let that flow, right?
You have to hope that your beep button is working.
Yeah.
Well, that's the kind of the peril of it. Because you want that to be...
You want it to be natural, but at the same time.
I got you. All right, let's go next.
All right, let's go next to a conversation that happened on First Take yesterday. Magic Johnson was asked to define a superstar. I'm curious what you guys think of the definition of a superstar in the NBA would be.
Define a superstar. A person who can go on the road and sell the building.
There we go. That's a simple definition.
Simple. I'm going to see that person, right?
So you ain't talking skill on the court. That's it. You talking about
draw. Stephen A.
You got to be
Magic's in town. You're going to the game.
Yeah, a superstar got to say, man, or you running home from the office and saying, oh, I got to see him on TV, right? And that's what Larry Bird, people running home, right? Charles Barkley, people running home. Shaq, people running home. Kobe, people running home. And then, of course, the greatest that's ever played, Michael Jordan, people going running home to see him, or they're trying their best to get into the arena to see that brother play. That's a superstar.
You feel about that, babe?
I think that's a little too broad sweeping because I actually do think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is must-see TV. I tune in. I want to tune in for him. But I get the point. He didn't mention LeBron.
He didn't mention himself either. He mentioned Magic?
He said me and Larry.
Oh, did he say me and Larry? Oh, okay.
I was curious about his submission of LeBron.
I mean, come on.
Well,
whole generations of kids.
Does he have an edge with LeBron?
I thought. I mean, he's a Laker. I can't imagine.
Because the Lakers have.
I don't think so. I thought.
Who
knows? I don't know what's going on. But I thought that was kind of strange.
And on that level, to this point, has there been one athlete that's come through town that you have made a point not to miss above anyone else?
Iverson.
I guess visiting player.
Paul Skeens.
Visiting player?
Paul Skeens.
That's pretty good. Paul Skeens is a pretty good modern day.
Let's go. I got to make sure that I'm either there or by a television.
Yeah, for me, in baseball, it was Griffey.
Oh, Griffey's a good one.
It was Junior.
I think recently I've had a couple. Skeens was one. We went to see Connor McDavid. That was specific.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, we went to go see, Shawnee went. Shohei Ohtani. That was absolutely. We've been trying to see him for years.
It must see.
Pitch.
Baseball's a little different, though, than basketball, where he's in your face the whole time.
LeBron, we wanted to see that.
Yeah, LeBron, you had to be there for. All right.
Kobe when he was playing with the Lakers.
Of course. What's next?
All right, next one for you here. This was going to be a smaller segment of this video, but I just loved pretty much all of it. Pablo Torre is done right now with the Bill Belichick situation, so don't worry. I'm not hitting you over the head with that storyline one more time. So he's not doing any more investigating into that story. He wanted to go do a deep dive on Sam Presti because he is a very secretive, closed-off guy. Doesn't do a lot of media. And there's a line in here from a story about a decade or so ago about Sam Presti. It gets into why he's so reserved. But it was interesting what comes out here. A guy he tried to hire away from ESPN to be an information guy for the Thunder. Take a listen to Pablo Torre's deep dive on Sam Presti.
The secrecy of this organization, which has been a bit of a black box, has been this way for so long that there is one story from Grantland years ago in which a reporter for Fox Sports said, quote, when it comes to getting a one-on-one interview, it would be easier to get access to the leader of ISIS. All of this is to say that Sam Presti did not want me to do this episode with you, Wyatt.
Okay.
He's also very media fluent. One thing I can report is that a little over a decade ago, he actually explored hiring our extremely plugged-in buddy Brian Windhorst away from ESPN to work as an information guy for the Thunder. And the question of why would he do that? The reason that Sam Presti considered hiring Brian Windhorst to kick the tires on hiring him away from ESPN is that information to Sam Presti is currency. It is an edge, a competitive advantage. And you don't surrender that information. And so Sam Presti never speaks to the media on the record during the season. He actually, in a very careful way, does it precisely twice a year. He speaks once in the preseason and once after the finals are over.
Wait a minute. Hire him as an information guy. Why? Because he's semi-plugged into gossips and interesting little tidbits around the league?
Right. Which would lead to the point of when he worked for the Thunder, wouldn't you stop giving him information?
Yeah.
Yes. So it would be the accumulated information that he has, and it's over one lunch, and see you later, you're fired.
It would be absolutely very, obviously there's guys that want to have information disseminated out, so they do that on purpose, but you couldn't trust anything that would come in because they would knew exactly where it was going.
Right.
Yeah,
I think he would lose his whole luster as the information guy.
His information guy is originally LeBron. That's who he was.
Right.
He was LeBron's guy.
No
Cover
longer.
LeBron. No longer.
Yeah, that's right, because he covered him in high school.
That was it.
Yeah.
That's how you knew him.
Also, twice a year talking to the media. How long does that survive here in Philly? Presti gets away with that in Oklahoma City.
Morey gets away with it. Morey doesn't speak.
More than twice. We rip him for only speaking as little as he does, but Presti only twice?
Oh, see, it's his world down there.
Yeah, but when you're winning, who cares?
You're right about Philadelphia being different.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Well, the whole thing is different. It's Oklahoma City. They're just like, yay, we have a team. We're so excited. This is the only thing we've got going on right now.
But I'm curious for you guys, what role would you play in what organization?
Information guy? Minister of Information?
You'd be a Minister of Information?
I'd be Minister
of Fun and
Information for...
Take a Brazier's job?
Would I be willing to be
Phillies,
hired? Who would
that's a
hire
ticket
me
job.
away? What
Chief Vibes
what
Officer.
organization would want to hire me away for information? Amy, you got anybody in mind?
Sure.
Who?
The Flyers would hire you for their information.
The Flyers would not hire me. I'm talking about you.
The Pacers. The Pacers would hire you for information.
The Knicks.
Scout.
The Knicks would hire me.
The Knicks would hire me.
Knicks would hire me.
Chief PR.
What team in sports would you be willing to be hired away to work for?
Any team. I would
Would
love
you work
to
for the University of Kentucky as a Minister of Information? They hire you as Minister of Information. Are you done in Philly?
I don't know that I love Lexington that much to go back there and live full time, but I would work for the university.
You'd work for the school. Why you'd have to live there full time?
I would. Yeah, sure.
It could be a dream job, eh?
It'd be a lovely job. I would love to work for the University of Kentucky.
You'd be back to small town USA.
It's a great town. Lots going on there. Bourbon,
How about
basketball.
Penn State? Would I be hired Minister of Information for Nittany Lions? You're damn right, Ray. Hit this song, Ray.
For their hockey
Play
team,
it.
for their
Come on, let's
basketball
go.
team.
National Championship City. Yes, there it is. It's the Mike Missanelli Show. 610-632-0975. We're back after this.
Andrew Salciunas.
12:14, Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic, 610-632-0975. I want to get a phone call in here because B's been holding for a really long time. And I want to talk some Phillies issues, including Bryce Harper on the beach yesterday. A sighting. I got my spies out there. Let's go to B in Westchester. B, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. B.
Yo, what's happening, Mikey?
What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, truly an honor today to be on the line with two of the all-time post-game show hosts here in the city. How about that?
I dabbled in post-game or PHL 17 back in the day. Amy is a lifer.
I'm doing pre and post today.
Yeah, there you go. She's doing pre and post today.
That's right. For Phillies.
And I appreciate it, especially the Sixers post-game. I appreciate it.
Thank you, my friend.
I probably haven't been locked in on it since
That's okay.
Sixers-Knicks playoffs.
That's all right. You're not alone in that one, B.
Team's giving me. And I got to ask, I want to put the question out there because, Mike, I think I'm with you. I'm out probably just on the Embiid era as a whole.
Yeah.
But are we in agreement that it really only produced one legitimate championship contender?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like the Kawhi Leonard. Like, is that really all we got?
Yeah, that was the best team. That was the best team.
It was. The Celtics, the one that blew the lead to the Celtics is going to stick in my craw a little bit. That was a good team, too.
It's a shame.
They had a chance to win that series.
When you think about it.
That one with Harden, that was the Harden iteration.
It's almost like the Lindros era, too, with the Flyers.
It's like so close, but not.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
And I was excited going into the year. We had the number one seed, and, when we had the Ben Simmons meltdown against Atlanta. But, yeah, I think that's all you're getting. Embiid's in his 30s now. It's the health.
Yeah, listen, B, maybe not. I'm just saying, like, how I have to perceive this is I no longer expect good from this era. Like, I can't be conned. I can't be pulled back in because I've seen enough now.
Yeah, I don't expect championship contender out of this era. I don't see how you can.
No.
And I just think, too, even if Embiid's healthy, let's say he's miraculously healthy, I just think the way teams defend in the playoffs and even the way playoff games are officiated, he's not getting to the line 20 times in a game. And, and I just think that's always been a gripe I've had with how he plays, even in the big games, even when he is healthy, which I think it's health first, but I think it's just that other thing, too.
You almost need the Bam Adebayo type of center to win anymore. Can you have the dominant big man and can win?
Jokic.
Yeah, well, he's so different, though.
That's what I'm. Well, so is Embiid.
Well, he is, but he's not as spry.
He's not as like assist heavy, floor general type of vibe. So you think more of like a more traditional center. Because Bam Adebayo is about as traditional a center as you're going to get in the NBA. He's not a traditional
center. But he's mobile and he's like he does
athletic.
Different things.
Not as tall.
Yeah.
But he can still bang around with the guys in the low post.
You can even get away with like the Mitchell Robinsons of the world if you're really good.
If you're really good and you have plenty of scoring
like the
around him.
Sixers got away with Theo.
Yeah.
Well,
the Knicks got they had Hartenstein too.
Yeah.
Just a rebounding, but you have to have high level scoring around those guys.
No, you're right. All right. So yesterday, first of all, there's three Phillies issues. They're back at it tonight. The number 2 issue is Zach Wheeler, in a really fascinating story in The Athletic, reveals that he doesn't work out. He doesn't work out.
Like ever?
No.
He must do something.
He doesn't do anything.
That's amazing.
We'll get into this in a second.
That's incredible.
But the other story is, this is really, I want to get some feedback on this. Bryce Harper, a friend of mine, lives in Cape May. He sends me a picture. Ex-baseball teammate of mine. He sends me a picture. Bryce Harper on the beach at, what is the beach here?
It's Cape May.
But it's a certain beach in Cape May.
Oh,
Hold on a second. I got it right here. It's a specific beach. It is Stockton Beach.
Okay.
In Cape May. Is anybody familiar with
Stockton Beach? Yes.
So he sends me the picture, and I tweet out Bryce Harper sighting today on the beach in Cape May. Now, I did not tweet the picture out.
Well done.
Okay. So I didn't tweet the picture, but I have the picture, and I showed it to you and others.
Yes, you have.
But people, in response, kind of ripped Bryce Harper for being down the shore. And I don't get it. They're like, what, rehab assignment down the shore? What's he doing down there? And he's earned a vacation. If he could play, he would, which are like the complete opposite.
Not a vacation.
It's not a vacation.
A day off.
The day off.
Wouldn't
he's
you
on
go
the
down the shore if you had
IL.
a day off?
Yeah. I don't find anything wrong with it. A lot of people did. So I tweet out, it's an off day. He's on the IL. And apparently he likes K-May. What's the beef? So, I don't understand. Right. Should we have a problem with that?
Yeah, we should.
Absolutely. We should?
He's going to Cape May on his day off. Does he know there are beaches much closer to Philadelphia?
Well, I don't know how long he's been down there.
Brigantine.
I don't know. Maybe he was down there a couple of days. I don't know.
Maybe his family is down there and he went to go visit them on his off day.
What is he doing dealing with all that traffic? Are we sure he's going to be back by game time today?
Yeah, so a guy goes, the wrist healed? Or maybe he's getting treatment on the beach? Like, people actually had a problem with it.
I saw people had a problem when they saw that Aaron Nola was at Kyle Schwarber's event. Kyle Schwarber had that nice event after the day game.
Yes.
And I thought, so he's not allowed to go support his teammate because he's on the IL.
Yes.
I feel like we've just, where are we right now in society? That's where
I don't know. I don't understand. Like, if the Phillies did not have a day off and he's there.
Then you can have beef.
Exactly. But they have a day off. And people do whatever. They play golf or whatever. He decided to take a beach day.
And sit and hang out with their family.
Right.
God forbid.
Now, if he stays down there as the Phillies now resume play.
There's no way.
He wouldn't, right?
No.
Now, that's the story, right?
Yeah, that'd be a story. I've also found something I have a problem with as well. I delivered so many pizzas down to that beach over the years.
Oh, you
and
have?
He never
you know that
once
beach?
ordered from me.
You know that beach?
Yeah.
Stockton Beach?
What pizza shop?
Cappy's down there. I actually might go see them this weekend.
Wait, you worked for there? You worked at that place?
I worked at Cappy's.
Did you spend your summers at the shore?
A couple of them. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, a couple of summers down the shore working for that
Look
beach.
at you, man, beach bum.
Oh, it was great.
Delivery person?
A lot of different things. Delivery, hoagies, salads.
That's so great because people put in just the beach block and then you just, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
Here comes your food right at the beach.
Yeah.
Love it.
That's great for the people that order it. I've
not
never
so great
once
for the
seen
guy.
you in my life. Oh, yeah, we're sitting under the umbrella. Yeah, the umbrella.
Yeah, no,
The
you got to go
one
meet them at the
umbrella.
top.
Yeah.
You got to go meet them at the top.
No, you can bring it down to the. No, I can't. Come on.
No, you got to meet them at the
Meet
top.
me halfway here.
Yeah,
people.
you got to meet them at the top. That's just etiquette. That's just beach ordering etiquette. Come on, people.
Yeah.
You got to meet them at the top.
I've never ordered on the beach.
It was something I had never heard of.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, this is amazing.
The food and sand don't mix with me.
I could tell you, Cappy's delivers to the beach.
I don't eat on the beach.
But you'll eat in bed.
Oh, you make it sound like I'm
I literally am
eating crumb cake or something,
You're eating
and it's
Cheez-Its
crumbling all
and
over.
popcorn.
A Cheez-It is it's 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. It's a square. You put the whole thing in your mouth. There's no crumbs.
Raise the lights off.
The lights went out on Ray.
I just think that
He's a silhouette. Look at him.
I don't mind getting crumbs at the beach because I'm eating outside.
Yeah, but you're getting sand in your hands and your
Wait,
fingers.
I'm not touching the sand while I'm eating
You never
my
know.
pizza.
Sand flies around.
I've got a
Fits in
little.
your
I've got a little
nails.
umbrella. I've got a little table. I'm all set. Doesn't get in my drink at the beach. Not going to get in my food.
I don't eat. I've never ever eaten at the beach.
Nothing. Not even like a sandwich or your precious Cheez-Its.
Nope.
Wow.
No, I don't snack.
No
I don't-
snacking at the
because you got a seagull problem also.
Well, that's what the umbrella's for, though.
I don't mess with the whole mayhem of that.
It's an umbrella. You got to eat under the umbrella.
Well, they find your way under the umbrella. Yeah, they do. They walk.
They do walk
They
up.
walk. They just
They
don't
do
fly.
walk up.
610-632-0975. We're back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies Blue Jays this weekend. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Groundworks. Your expert for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. The Phillies enjoyed a day off yesterday after taking 2 of 3 from the Cubs earlier this week. Now they'll welcome the Toronto Blue Jays to town for a 3-game weekend set. The Blue Jays took 2 of 3 from the Phillies earlier this month in Toronto. Tonight, it's Ranger Suarez matching up with Kevin Gausman on the mound. First pitch at 6:45 down at Citizens Bank Park. The NHL Finals continue to deliver another thriller last night. The Oilers tying up the series in the back of a 5-4 overtime win over the Panthers. Pacers. As for the NBA Finals, Thunder looking to tie it up at 2 games apiece with the Pacers tonight. We'll have the live broadcast of the game with pregame coverage beginning at 7:30 right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. In the 11 o'clock hour, we spoke to Charles Barkley, who got into plenty of basketball topics, some of the other things on his mind, of course, reacted to the audio we played for you from Dan Patrick Show. Adam Silver talking about inside the NBA. You can catch that conversation one more time on our website, 975thefanatic.com. The Union hosts Charlotte FC Saturday at 7:30. You catch the live call of that one right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. This update's also brought to you by Erie Insurance, celebrating 100 years of protecting your family's most priceless moments. Then, now, always. Erie Insurance. ErieInsurance.com. That's ErieInsurance.com. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for NBA Finals action, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
It is 12:29, Mike Missanelli Show. Today, I didn't realize it. Today is Friday the 13th. Spooky stuff happens on Friday the 13th, right?
Watch out for Jason.
There you go. But also, today is the anniversary of Bryce Harper telling the reporter, that's a clown question, bro.
Clown question.
Let me see if I can pop it up here. Hold on a second.
I don't know.
Oh.
You have it? Yeah, you turn your phone on.
Hold on a second. My phone went kablooey on me. All right, here it is.
A celebratory Canadian beer would seem to make sense after a hit like that. You got a favorite beer, and are you? It's illegal to drink in the States at 19. Why don't you ask someone else? Not Canada. I'm not answering that. Ask someone else. That's a clown question, bro.
There it is. That's a clown question, bro.
I mean,
that was stupid.
It was a really dumb question. Also, he's 19 years. This is, if you remember, like this is when Bryce was a rookie, and so I got if it was a guy that they were interviewing and he was a Blue Jays player,
yeah,
and then maybe you could have like that kind of like back and forth with him. But a dude you literally have never seen before, you're asking this question, and also Bryce didn't drink, doesn't drink now.
No. It's a. That's a guy trying too hard.
Yeah, trying too hard.
Trying too hard.
That's a try.
Exactly. All right. Let me get into this story here, which I find fascinating. First of all, does anybody have any feedback on Bryce being at the beach, thinking that was the wrong thing to do? Anybody on a text board, right?
We got more people calling you out for the violation of eating in bed.
Oh, like what is like snacking in bed? It's like I'm not having filet mignon and a baked potato. Like, what do you mean? Like, nobody snacks in bed?
The question of whether or not you would get up then to brush your teeth following the snacking.
I would. That's the peril of it. See, when, and I find myself doing that. Like, I'm ready to go, brush the teeth, but then I get a craving for a snack. So here come the Cheez-Its.
So you go down?
Little Cheez-Its. I go downstairs.
You go downstairs, you get your
Get the box of Cheez-Its, bring it back up. Back up. Do the Cheez-Its, and then rebrush.
See, in my idea, you have like a snack situation like in your bedroom that you just, like you're in college. Like that's what I thought. Like you just had like a snack drawer or a shelf.
No, I go and get the box. Now, I'll leave the box there.
Because you might need it later.
Well, no, I won't re-go down.
Okay, so once you're locked in, okay.
Right, though the box will stay there overnight.
You'll take it down in the morning.
Exactly. So what's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Except for everything is wrong.
Yeah, so wait. I'm curious. Like, what are people saying about this? Like, not eating in bed? Like, I've never heard of this.
That was the big question.
What, popcorn? You don't eat popcorn in bed when you're watching a movie in bed? I don't get it.
Sean from Levittown, having filet mignon in his bed is less than a violation of eating Cheez-Its in bed.
Yeah, because then it's almost like you organize it. You probably have a tray.
I don't have a tray. How could you cut filet mignon in bed?
You have a little tray. It's like a breakfast in bed.
You're not stable enough to be able to cut steak.
You have a little
But
tray
it's easy to dip into a box and grab a Cheez-It.
You have a plate. You probably have a napkin. You don't have any napkins in this scenario. Do you have a napkin?
I do have a napkin.
So you go down, you get Cheez-Its and your napkin.
Yes, I get.
Why would you just stay downstairs and have the snack?
Because it's time for me to be in my relaxed little contoured bed.
That's right, with the S curve, with the zero gravity.
I don't think zero gravity is not a position to eat in, but putting the back up on the adjustable base as you're watching TV, you're propped up.
Okay.
So you don't have the next situation where you have to stuff pillows in there. The bed goes, and you're in proper eating and viewing position.
All I can just picture is just Cheez-It crumbs. The little salt that's on top of the Cheez-Its.
You know how big a Cheez-It is.
Yeah, but there's little teeny pieces of salt. Where do those go?
The whole Cheez-It goes in the mouth.
They were on your fingers. There's definitely like Cheez-It salt somewhere. Definitely.
There's Cheez-It salt.
Yeah.
There's no salt on a Cheez-It.
There is too.
It's not coated with salt.
It's not coated, but it's got a little bit of salt on it. I can't believe I know more about Cheez-It.
It doesn't have salt on it. It does not.
I cannot wait to bring in Cheez-Its.
It's just seriously. Can we produce? Anybody have Cheez-Its right now? Tell me there's no salt.
I got to pull up a picture.
That's going to flake off a Cheez-It. It's just a Cheez-It.
Somebody in the back, please go to the vending machine. I think we have Cheez-Its here.
There? I will show you a blown-up picture of a Cheez-It.
There's no salt on a Cheez-It. Come on. Seriously? There is.
Amy, you were right all along.
No, there is.
Cheez-It salt.
There is salt in a Cheez-It.
Cheez-It salt.
All this time, I didn't think there
It's
was
somewhere. It's on your bedroom carpet. Cheez-It salt.
Come on now.
You got to get your little Roomba out, vacuum that up.
Listen, chips are different. You can't put a whole chip in your mouth. So if you're eating chips, it'll flake. A Cheez-It doesn't flake. I go with the non-flakeable snack.
The extra toasty.
Well, no, it's not extra toasty. It's more like, can you eat goldfish? It's the same thing. You're eating cheddar goldfish. It's the same thing.
I mean, I'm not 5, so I don't eat cheddar goldfish.
What?
My children do.
To snack. You've never snacked on a goldfish?
An extra packet that I gave to one, just to.
What? Do you snack at all?
Yeah, I snack.
Okay.
Not in my bedroom.
Very fixated on all where the snacks are being consumed.
I do not understand this. I don't understand. It's like saying you don't eat in a car. Like people have chastised me for that as well.
Sometimes
people
eating
driving,
in a car is
eating in a car, it's absolutely
it's
necessary.
I understand. So I think that the difference where we diverge is that my snack time in my little happy place is usually down watching television or reading somewhere else. But your location for your happy place of snack time and winding down just happens to be your room. So I get it.
I gotta be honest with you. I've never had a problem with the crumbs.
I get it. You're literally
never
going
woken
kernel by
up
kernel
crumbs
and
were
Cheez-It by
stuck on
Cheez-It.
me or anything.
Yeah, I believe
I'm
you.
a very tidy
But I
snacker.
do like that now you're going to be more aware of your Cheez-It salt.
Well, the Cheez-It salt. Now I got to go flip it to popcorn. One kernel at a time is what I do. Ray's a mouth stuffer.
I think he's handfuls of popcorn.
I am.
Yeah,
I'm a psychopath.
Downstairs, handfuls of popcorn. In bed,
one in
kernel at a time.
I don't eat in bed anymore.
You used to.
I used to.
Well, there you go.
I was coached out of it.
Oh, you were coached out of it.
Oh,
who was your coach?
Yeah, please tell us
your
more.
coach was Billy Cunningham. Who was your coach?
No, I imagine it was different.
We have not been honest on break times today, and I think now is a fantastic time.
Happened to be an ex-girlfriend.
It's a lady friend.
610-632-0975. Back after this.
Ricky Bo, Bill Colorado.
632-0975 is how you get into the Mike Missanelli Show. All right, let me get into this Zach Wheeler story. A fascinating story, by the way, because he's like really reclusive, as they say.
Zach Wheeler's reclusive?
Yes.
Not on his wife's TikTok.
Well, maybe he's not his wife's TikTok, but the teammates, he's like very kind of like in his own little thing. Oh man, I lost it. I lost the story. Oh. I had the story up and I lost it. Oh well. We'll get it again. All my stories evaporated off my laptop. What happened?
You close them all out?
No, I didn't touch them.
Oh.
They're all gone. Huh. All right. Ray, let's go back to the text board while I fetch this story.
All right. We do have someone check in on the Bryce Harper off-day conversation. Eric from Virginia. It was an off day. Who cares if he's at the beach? Does your boss care where you go on a day off?
They better not.
Yeah. I can tell you what I'm going to do with my one day off this week.
What are you doing?
I'll be at the beach.
There you go.
So.
Well, there you go. All right.
Bryce Harper and I, a lot of people are saying we have a lot in common.
Bank accounts.
Yep.
Okay, it says, here it is.
Family.
Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler can be very ornery, it says. And he has this stare that kind of people stay away from. Like he's just singularly focused. I assume he's a lot like Halliday, who was like
Halliday
that
worked
as well.
out all the time.
Halliday did work out all the time. Now, let's see.
I've never heard that about Zach Wheeler.
Yes. So let me get to this
things.
person. This whole point about him not working out. And he eats like a child. Real Muto says. Like he celebrated his 10 years in the majors with post-game McDonald's for everyone. He said that his diet is horrible, and he doesn't work out at all because he thinks working out can actually hurt him. Here it is. The last time Wheeler worked out this year was the second week of April when the Phillies were in Atlanta. Earlier in his career with the New York Mets, Wheeler did a lower body workout the day after a start and an upper body one on his bullpen day. He was often injured. So he doesn't work out.
If it ain't broke,
because
don't fix it.
He believes that, he says, okay, here's what he says. If you think about it, man, we're out there doing our upper body workout 90 to 100 times a game, if not more, between the bullpen and warm-up pitches. That's a core workout. That's a back workout. That's a shoulder workout.
I feel him on that. Listen, he's a Cy Young candidate this year and last year. Hadn't worked out? Whatever. Go for it.
All right, now normally, and I see this with pitchers all the time, after they pitch, what do? They ice.
Generally, yes.
Yes. So there's the guy
Shoulder, elbows.
who's the trainer, head athletic trainer of the Phillies, is Paul Buchheit. And Buchheit does not believe in icing your arm. So he told Wheeler to stop. Wheeler adjusted, saw negative effects, and now he doesn't do the ice. He'll have frequent soft tissue treatments, which I guess are massages.
Yeah.
But he does not ever lift or and do anything like that.
Doesn't have to.
You find that strange, though?
I would find it strange if the results didn't speak for themselves. I mean, there was a good chance he could have been a Cy Young winner last year.
Yeah.
He's in the Cy Young contention this year. He's a guy that when he was with the Mets was kind of they really hoped he was going to be that guy. He never came to fruition. So they go out, the Phillies make the trade for him. They sign him to a pretty good deal. He becomes that guy. They sign him to an even bigger deal. No, great. Don't work out. That's working for you.
He also has a general disdain for pregame planning meetings.
I kind of feel him on that.
You feel him on everything here. Some pitchers spend hours studying video and reviewing scouting reports. Wheeler doesn't do any of it.
Again, if he was like a middling pitcher and not doing well, maybe all this stuff he did when he was with the Mets, when he was a guy that was just slightly above average. But he is, by most accounts, the last couple of years, one of the best pitchers in all of baseball, right?
Yeah.
So if he doesn't want to meet...
No, listen, it works for him. I'm shocked.
You're shocked because it is working for him?
No,
and he's not doing
I'm
it the
shocked that he
traditional
doesn't do any of it to prepare to be like they're an ultra preparer. Like Halliday was an ultra
stuff.
preparer.
I mean, he was probably.
This guy's not a preparer.
How they would have like full workouts
Right.
after games.
He
not to
would.
mention what he
would
we all
do
saw
the
those.
workout after the game.
Yeah,
which
I mean,
is crazy.
Does it say that he doesn't meet with like JT to go over a game plan?
He
or is
does
it just
No, he
at all?
He doesn't. He says
Just fly by the
nobody
seat of his pants.
Since nobody can do it better than Real Muto and Caleb Cotham, why try? So he just tells them, like they say.
So he does meet with Real Muto and Caleb Cotham.
He doesn't.
Who says no one can do it better than them? That's assuming that.
No, he's saying that like when they call the pitch.
Oh, that's
they
it.
call the pitch.
All right.
That's it. All right. Now, there's a little story here. It was 2021. The Phillies went to Tropicana Field in late May. Not 8 months removed from Randy Arozarena's 10-homer postseason. Yeah. Arozarena was leading off against the Phillies. So that's how the meeting began. Wheeler was on the training table while everyone else spoke. Cotham says to him, all right, Arozarena, we want to do this. This is how we want to attack him. Wheeler says, is he right-handed or left-handed?
I feel like Zach Wheeler's
Like, seriously.
Zach Wheeler's the guy that says out there when they have like a Teams meeting or something, he says, this could have been an email. That's absolutely could have been an email. You just text him.
He's like a total removed.
Just text him.
Real Muto says, dude, what? Wheeler struck out as a Rosarena all 3 times on 3 different pitches.
Didn't care if he was right or he left.
I find that stunning. This whole story is stunning to me.
It's more impressive. But also, like back in the day, they didn't do any of this stuff. They didn't have like overly, detailed meetings. You watched the guy, you wrote down what his tendencies were, you related to the catcher, he told the pitcher. Call it a day.
I guess. Cotham says he keeps it simple. There's no panic. There's not a lot of attention to detail.
Doesn't have to be.
That's amazing to me.
It's incredible.
You know who's smoking a cigar this weekend in celebration?
Who's that?
Real Muto's agent. Oh, really? The best pitcher you guys have had doesn't do any prep, but
So
my
he relies
catcher does all the
only
prep?
on he relies only on his catcher.
Oh, man.
You don't say.
Would be a real shame if you didn't pay that guy, huh?
Now, he says he's a fast food guy. He said there's only one way to order Chick-fil-A. I don't even know what that means. But he does work out in the off
It's
season.
only one way to order Chick-fil-A.
He says I kill workouts during the off season. I do upper body, lower body.
There you
So
go. See, there he does work out, just not in season.
But during the season, no workout.
Listen, he works every 5th day. He makes $1 gajillion, and he pitches his butt off.
He also says,
Check.
when this contract is
Oh,
over,
yeah. This I heard. He's done.
2027 season, he is done with baseball.
Well, he'll be 37 at that point. 38.
Real Muto says he can say that all he wants. I can't imagine him dominating
think
for 2 more years and hanging him up. He loves it.
I think he. Well, he doesn't have to do anything during the season. He's just so good. I believe him on that. I think
All
he's
right.
like, I'm out.
Any reaction to this story? 610-632-0975 on the text board or your telephone calls. Would love to talk to you on this Friday as you prepare to go into your weekend, whatever you're doing. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies and Blue Jays this weekend. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Phillies enjoyed a day off yesterday after taking 2 or 3 from the Cubs earlier this week. Now they'll welcome the Toronto Blue Jays to town for a 3-game weekend set. The Blue Jays did take 2 or 3 from the Phillies earlier this month in Toronto. Tonight it's Ranger Suarez getting the game going, matching up with Kevin Gausman on the mound. First pitch at 6:45 down at Citizens Bank Park. NHL Finals continued to deliver another thriller last night. The Oilers with their 5-4 overtime win to tie up the series. The Thunder looking to tie up the NBA Finals tonight with the Pacers at 2 games apiece. We'll have the live broadcast of that game with pregame coverage beginning at 7:30 right here live on 97.5 The Fanatic. If you go to our website, you get a chance to hear the conversation that we had with Charles Barkley earlier on in the show about the NBA, the 76ers, plenty of things that were on his mind, and of course his reaction to Adam Silver talking about Inside the NBA on Dan Patrick earlier this week. Again, you can catch that conversation one more time on our website, 975thefanatic.com. And tomorrow on our airwaves, the Union hosting the Charlotte FC. That game at 7:30 tomorrow. We'll carry it live for you here on The Fanatic. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Mercedes-Benz Dream Days are back with offers on vehicles like the 2025 E-Class, CLE Coupe, C-Class, and EQE Sedan. Hurry it now through July 31st. Learn more at MBUSA.com/dream. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for the NBA Finals, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5, The Fanatic. There's a story also on The Athletic where it's a sports writer covering this Pacers team has been a sports writer's nightmare. First of all, I can't think of any person that people would have less sympathy for than a sports writer on deadline. Right? You think that the public cares about that?
When they write their story and everything just
absolutely. A sports writer, who cares? So they're stressed out because the guy made a buzzer beater and they got to change their story.
That's tough. Like you see it. Like I know you've seen it when you're like at a game. Baseball's probably one where they have half their story written and then there's a comeback and you just see all those entire lines and paragraphs just wiped away.
This happened to me, like one of the craziest moments of my writing career. I was at the Inquirer. I'm covering the Final Four between Michigan, Seton Hall. Now, this is when Seton Hall had a magical season. P.J. Carlissimo was the coach, and they were making a run to the national championship, and they find their way to the national championship game. Well, the game's in Seattle, so there's a time situation, and the Inquirer's deadline was pretty stringent. Mm-hmm. So my desk is screaming for me to get this story in. They're literally holding up the publication of the newspaper, waiting for my story. It's the last story to come in that night. So as soon as this game's over, you get the story in. I go, yeah, I can't rush the game out. They're like, there's timeouts. I get it to you. So Seton Hall goes up by a point with I don't know how many, like 6 seconds left. So I write I swear to God, Amy, it was the best story of my life. It just came out of me with this great victory for Seton Hall.
Great.
And I wrote like 6 of the best paragraphs I've ever read. And I can't wait to send this thing. And in Michigan inbounds the ball, and Ramil Robinson, if you remember him, gets fouled. And I'm going, hey, you got to be kidding me. Now there's 3 seconds left on the clock. I got my finger on the send button. And I go, Ramil Robinson's going to the foul line for 2 foul shots. And I look at he's a 44% free throw shooter. I'm good. Golden. He makes 1 and he makes 2. Yes. I got to erase the best.
The whole story. All that.
And rewrite it. And they're screaming at me, "Get the story in!" I haven't written it yet. It was nuts.
It's overtime.
Yeah, but nobody cares. You think people care, right? Sports writer.
I figured you were weeping. Yeah, I figured you were weeping for the sports writer.
Well, I at the end of the day, I know nobody cares about the sports writer. Nobody cares about the media in general.
No.
People, they don't care. The media, it is a thankless profession. Now, you see these guys, they get on TV now, so they're making a pretty good living, all these reporters. But you look at it and they go, the people accept the information they provide, and yet they hate the media person. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. The
media person gets no respect.
Well, the vehicle with which the information was disseminated is usually the one that is going to take the brunt of it. The whole don't kill the messenger. They absolutely kill the messenger.
They do.
Just fine.
And all we are is the messenger, right? We're just giving the information.
I mean, us here, technically, I feel like sometimes we open up the mail, read the mail, and then present our opinion along with the mail.
That is the idea of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have great respect and admiration for the people that have to do this for a living.
Oh, yeah. I do.
Not this. I'm talking about like going out there and pounding the pavement and doing the reporting and getting the information.
Yes.
All that stuff.
Those people I do. Absolutely.
Yes.
100%. I don't understand why people get mad at people.
They're the ones that are taken for granted all the time.
Like McClain all the time. People get mad at Jeff McClain.
Yeah.
It's like, you go around the country.
They're taken for granted.
You go around the country, you don't find someone that is deeper into the beat they're into than what we have here in Philly.
Oh, agreed.
Like, McClain's an example there. McManus, who we have on all the time, I think is an example of that. Like, people get mad. McManus, what he said, the locker room was teetering at like 10-1, and then people were like mad at him for like, you're putting this out there to destroy them. And it's like, no, he's telling you what's happening in there.
The vibe. Yep.
And then you watched it all fall apart.
And then you saw it, yeah.
All right.
I'll never understand.
It's 1 o'clock. It is the Mike Missanelli Show, WPN, WPN, HD1. Burlington, Philadelphia. We're broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. Our 12 o'clock hour was brought to you by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing for 48 months, rebates, tax credits up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more at servicefirst.hvac.com. Apparently, I'm unusual because I eat Cheez-Its in bed, and I didn't realize they had salt on them. And Amy's guilting me now. There's salt kernels all in my bed, and they probably stick in various areas of your body.
Why did you do that for? I just thought they were on your carpet.
Well, if they're in your bed,
I just thought they were on your carpet.
Are you a Sopranos fan?
I've watched The Sopranos. I like it.
You haven't seen the one where Tony had the Monopoly pieces stuck to his face because he got into a fight with the Bobby Bacala.
Oh, Bobby Bacala.
So the salt
Yes.
attaches to your body like that.
Stuck to it.
Yeah. Ray, text board.
Actually, right now the YouTube chat's had a very interesting time. Yeah, the
Forgot
chat.
about the chat. I haven't been in on the chat today.
Yeah, I want to shout out the chat. There was a good back and forth. MBD has been kind of running this. Tommy John also. They're having a conversation pretty much. Okay, Harper. Nobody really has a problem with him being out. Like we did not have a problem.
Right.
Would there have been Phillies or Philadelphia athletes that would have gotten ripped for doing the same thing Harper does? And does Harper get a pass that some other players would not be afforded if they had been seen on the beach on their day off while they were injured?
If people saw Joel Embiid on the beach right now, they would lose their minds.
Yes. Yeah, you're probably right about that.
It's not even his season right now.
But you know who got a pass? Allen Iverson got a pass all those years for being out at night. Calling in sick to practice. He got a pass, didn't he? Some people were unnerved.
I don't think they were
by it, as long as he played at night, they were fine with it. Who else would get a pass? Embiid would not get a pass.
No,
you're right. He wouldn't get a pass. But again, there's different circumstances.
It is.
So baseball plays
precedent
every
has been
day.
also
When they
set,
when they have a day off, it's like, okay.
I don't think anybody's ever questioned the heart with which Bryce Harper plays the game.
Right.
I would hope not, certainly. My goodness.
Would an Eagle get a pass for this?
Yeah.
Every Eagle would get a pass.
They just won the Super Bowl.
Get a pass right now. Every Eagle's getting a pass.
season.
Cooper DeJean's getting a pass.
In season, though.
Oh, during the season?
Yes, they would.
If they were achieving, if they were struggling, no.
Also, I think that there's a view with football as a sport as a whole on the one off day that they get, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
But if they were struggling, maybe you would think about, I don't know about that guy.
You know, I got to be honest.
For right now,
I
all
got
passes.
full disclosure on this picture that I received. Bryce had looked a little bit like a little paunch.
No, he didn't.
He had a little paunch.
I've seen it.
He had a little belly punch. You say no, but other people I've shown it to, yeah, he's a little paunchy. You can get away with that as a baseball player.
Well, yeah, you mean like not be like completely like
buff.
All right.
Yeah, as a baseball player, you can get away with that because I don't know. Have you seen many, like, if you think about baseball players, do you see anybody that's like built like The Rock or John Cena or somebody? No, nobody, because it's a different type of training. It's like soft muscles and soft tissue are fine in baseball.
I see what you're saying.
You know, because sometimes you're too tight. If you're really stacked, you're too tight. Like Bill Colarulo could never play baseball ever. I've told him he's telling.
Is that because he wears his shirt so tight?
We had these conversations all the time. I can hit a fastball, but
I've heard that from him.
I guarantee you that Bill Colarulo would have a terrible baseball swing.
Bill, just listen to Mike.
That's the truth. He's out there somewhere probably listening.
Oh, he's absolutely listening right now.
He's been here since 7 a.m.
There's nobody who's muscle bound who can play baseball.
That's why I was so great.
Your softball. Is the season started yet?
I don't want to talk about that softball team this spring.
What's the matter? You got a problem with the softball team?
We didn't play.
You got
the Clown Ballers did not play?
Did not. Very disappointed.
What is wrong? Did you need a manager or sponsorship? We'll find you both.
It was a personnel issue.
Oh.
Some people have gotten quite busy.
Oh.
And apparently
you don't have enough guys to
play. Too busy for the Clown Ballers.
Apparently friendship means nothing anymore to these people.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
Whatever. Last night was a Thursday night. I sat at home.
Is this an organized league?
Yeah.
It's heyday.
They were in the championship last year.
And what happened? You don't have enough players?
There was just a personnel issue.
I don't know.
Personnel.
Be more vague.
What does that mean?
Didn't have enough personnel?
Listen, I don't want to
Did you not have enough players? You're not diming out anybody.
Well, it's not so much we didn't have, we didn't have enough buy-in from the group to go in on it again. Like, it does take, some people are out in the burbs now, so they got to make the drive all the way down into the city, and they got to do it after work. And some of the people work schedules changed up where they wouldn't be available.
Well, I mean, that's reasonable. You don't have enough players.
Yeah, but it was the right group. Like, no offense to, like, other people, but, like, I wouldn't want to bring other people in. We had the right group going.
How many did you have? Did you have at least 9?
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you had at least 9, why didn't you play?
Oh, no. I meant in the past. Yeah, I don't know what numbers we would have ended up getting to if the conversation pretty much got to who wants to do it. There wasn't like a,
why is this so
let's
vague,
run it back.
Jamie? Why is he not telling us to,
I feel like there's something going on.
No, it's
There's
just
like a painful divorce.
I don't really know what you guys want from this other than we didn't have the numbers.
Guys didn't show up. That's what we want to know.
You're listening.
Guys
You're a
said
part of
they
the
weren't
clown
showing
ballers.
up because they had other things to do.
We're
Is that what
disappointed in you.
Everyone got busy. You know,
that's what you're getting to.
Yeah.
So in other words, they didn't make softball the priority.
Correct. Which honestly makes a lot of sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
Most of these
Once
guys,
you join a team, it does not make any sense to bail out.
But most of these, like, I'm the young guy of the group, so most of these guys, like, you know,
they have families, they have the wife, the whole bit.
Well, one of them literally got married last weekend. Two of the, you know.
All right, they got married. They're on a honeymoon. That's why they're missing it.
You're still allowed to play
that's fine.
while you're married.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But, like, there's other things going on in life. You know, we played this.
Yeah, there shouldn't be anything going on in life.
softball league.
When you're joining a team and you're part of a team, you're letting your other teammates down if you don't show.
Disappointing. But you're saying it ran its course.
I didn't think it ran its course. Clearly, the rest of the group.
It's like when you have a foursome. I don't know if it happened to you, Amy. Where you're at the tee box and all of a sudden somebody gives a call and say, "Well, I'm sorry, guys, I'm not going to make it." Have you ever experienced that?
At the tee box?
Yeah, there's nothing more unnerving than that.
Then I'm just like always like, ooh, who we're gonna get? So are they gonna stick us with somebody? That's what I'm always worried
that could happen. Or you go out as a threesome, which messes up the whole.
It does. That's a whole
contingent.
like vibe.
Exactly. All right, 610-632-0975. We still have the chat talking about Harper, huh?
Yeah, they don't believe that an Eagle would get a pass.
Embiid would not get a pass. Embiid is about
an Eagle.
Oh,
an Eagle.
An Eagle.
That an Eagle would not get a pass.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, if they weren't performing, like the idea is that like if we boo them on the field when they don't perform. But so if they're not performing, but if you're winning,
Yeah.
you want to go to the beach on your day off. No one's gonna care.
Speaking of Eagles, somebody in the U.S. Open yesterday had an albatross.
Oh yeah.
How about see
how the rest of his
did you
round
see
went,
that?
though?
Did you see that smoothness, Ray? Did you see that transition?
The rarest of birds.
Huh?
That was impressive.
Thank you. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Ricky Poe.
I've been holding this story for almost the whole show, but I got to get it out here, Amy, because I am so perplexed and confused by this story.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what to do with it.
I know what you're talking about.
We're talking about the bet of a couple who won. The woman is a Giants fan. The husband's an Eagle fan. Their names are Matarese Philpott. Her name is Lauren Matarese. His name is Danny Philpott. And they were dating back as far back as 2014. So they made a bet for this year, I guess, Giants-Eagles. He won the bet. The bet was that she had to get a tattoo. And the tattoo had to be Jason Kelce naked with an eagle coming out of his private part area.
I just don't know why that was the bet.
Well, even if that was the bet, don't you think like it's an embellished bet? Like if push comes to shove, like that's you go. Listen, I know you can't get that.
So the guy chose the tattoo to put on his wife.
Yes.
Of another man.
Yeah. Yeah. So explain this to me. I mean, it's just either this is the quintessential Eagle fan type of story, or it's like it's out of control.
Both. I think the answer to that is yes.
Now, if you're the tattoo artist.
Yeah, I need to know the origination of it. So a lot of times when you go get a tattoo, the artists are tremendous, right? You give them an idea, they sketch up something, and they come up with it. So did they come up with an idea, hey, we need to have Jason Kelce naked, and we need an eagle instead of his appendage? And this is what they came up with? Or are they artists themselves? They drew this out and thought, and then presented it to the tattoo artist. Like that's what I need to know.
It's been living on her right forearm for about 2 years. Now she says...
That's the thing. This bet was from like 2022.
Right. It started with stupid little things that they bet against. They first bet against, the husband and wife would bet against each other. If the Eagles won, she would wear his green long-sleeve Eagle shirt. After Giants lost, she committed to her punishment before he posted the photos all over Facebook.
I was at this game.
In 2018, she had to sing the Eagles fight song. And then it became a monetary thing. And then around 2022, 2023, it started with the tattoos.
Oh, so I found the story. So it's in the Inquirer.
Yes.
They've got it. So I was at this game. It was a rainy game. The Eagles were down. I remember this game because I was there. Eagles were trailing 19-0. So if the Giants had won, the Eagles fan, which is Danny, the guy, would have to get an Eli Manning tattoo on his rear. But if the Eagles won, his wife had to get the Jason Kelce tattoo. They took the idea to the artist, and he said, she said, here's the spot. I want a Jason Kelce traditional, but go crazy with it, is that he had to be, and they called it an Eagles cod piece.
So the tattoo man came up with this?
They draw it ahead of time, and obviously they looked at it and said, thumbs up.
That's the one.
That's it. We did it. She's got 60 tattoos on her body, including Gardner Minshew's mustache. From another lost bet. This couple sounds like a fantastic time, and I would absolutely have beers with them.
You would?
They sound great. Are you kidding me?
I would get a cross and go like this.
These people sound like so much fun.
Stay away from me. Stay away.
She goes, I should stop making bets when it comes to tattoos. I'm gathering art. Like those are great stories to tell.
Here's the question. I get it, but that's a permanent thing.
She got 60 of these things.
How many men would actually allow their wife to go through with something like that? That's the question.
Yeah. I mean, if you're like a tattoo, like people like you get tattoos together, that's your thing, then I think that's probably their thing. She has Gardner Minshew's mustache for Pete's sake.
All right.
How do you explain that one to your children?
All right, that's one thing.
No.
The naked Jason Kelce with an eagle coming out of your privates?
But like if you live in Philadelphia, you can be like, hey, 2-time Super Bowl. Or
I
one
could
time
not.
Super Bowl champ.
If I was a man, I could never. I don't care. My wife has 100 tattoos. I would never have her do that one.
Jason Kelce.
You're gonna get a tattoo, but we don't have to go there. We don't have to do that one.
Jason Kelce, though. That guy might love Jason Kelce.
He's a naked Jason Kelce. All right, Jason Kelce's beard or face, like whatever. A naked Jason Kelce with an eagle.
Shirtless Jason Kelce. I don't have any tattoos. Don't look at me.
You're playing devil's advocate.
I
with
sure
me.
am.
You are.
I would never. I don't have
You're
any
busting
tattoos.
my rear end here.
I don't have any tattoos. I don't like anything that much.
Ray, explain this phenomenon to me here.
A bet's a bet.
Stop
making the bets.
it. Would
Yeah.
He's got multiple of these.
Would you bet with a girlfriend if you had a steady girlfriend? Would you, and you made a bet like that, would you let her go through with that?
Well, I would never be the one to say, go get naked Jason Kelsey tattooed on your body. Like, that would never be a thought that crossed my mind. I agree with Amy. I'd party with these people. These people sound like a
fun.
wonderful time.
I think there's a lot of people. Now, I know people with tattoos. There's people that get tattoos that are very meaningful, and they always have a story behind them. And there's other people that get tattoos just because they're fun. They just like fun stuff.
I'm a tattoosman. I don't have any, but I totally accept tattoos. I like them. But this, with my wife, I don't know. I draw the line there. I can't have a naked Jason Kelsey. Have her branded with a naked Jason Kelsey.
I feel like I need to
after
see
the
her
joke
other
wears off, what do you got?
I feel like I need to see her other pieces because there's a lot of guys out there that get naked women, right?
Well, they're like the old Marines. We get to naked women.
And guys get those now. The pinup girl type of look.
Really? Are they still in vogue? The pinup girl?
Yeah,
really?
that's very in vogue. Yeah.
I don't know.
Absolutely, it's very in vogue.
That's a workman like on the docks type of tattoo.
No. It's a very like artsy people like it's like throwbacks. So that's why people like it.
Throwbacks. They're doing the
they
throwbacks
like it. They get
now.
like the mockingbirds. They get the swans.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, swallows or whatever.
How about the snake? Don't tread on me.
I mean, I think
like
that's
one of those.
I guess I don't know, but people like the old school, like the pinup girls. So guys get naked women on their arms or chest or legs. This is their pinup.
Are they getting naked women when they're married?
Yeah.
Or are they getting it before they like in their wild days?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know the timeline of these theoretical.
If you're a woman, would you allow, not allow, but would you be permissive with a husband that wants to put a naked lady on his arm?
That's his. Listen, if I'm married to him and he already has tattoos, I probably already knew that. Do you know what I mean? Like I felt like that's a person that has already had that vibe put out there. You knew that going in. Now, if it was like
a naked lady, like a tattoo's are one thing. The naked lady, the naked Jason Kelsey.
No, it's not my vibe.
It's a great conversation piece.
What's the conversation? You got to explain the whole time why we
bet these games.
Like, do you want to have to explain a tattoo that you do?
There's worse things to have to explain about your partner.
No, the tattoo's a personal thing. You get a tattoo, you don't have to. You want to talk about it the whole time.
I think some people might. If you're constantly betting tattoos as the bet payout, then yes, you're there to talk about it. She has several. She said that she's lost on bets, which means that he has probably several.
I don't have a problem with that part of it.
So that's what
I have a problem with the actual tattoo that was manifested on this. Jason Kelsey naked with his hand behind his head.
It's pinup girl.
Pinup girl type of pose. And the big eagle coming in where his schwanz is.
It's art, you know? Yeah, when you think about it, it's not a vision I could have ever created, but to that artist, go.
This is an eagle with a big, right? Would you have to bleep me if I said
no? I'm not gonna. Don't. If you have to ask,
he actually has a pecker.
Oh yeah, no, I think that's fine. I think that's fine.
That's fine.
I don't know. And time's passed here, so.
All right, 610-632-0975. We're back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies Blue Jays this weekend. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies enjoyed a day off yesterday after taking 2-3 from the Cubs earlier this week. They'll welcome the Toronto Blue Jays to town for a 3-game weekend set starting tonight. The Blue Jays took 2-3 from the Phillies earlier this month in Toronto. Tonight, it's Ranger Suarez matching up with Kevin Gausman on the mound. First pitch at 6:45 down at Citizens Bank Park. NHL Finals continue to deliver. Another thriller last night. The Oilers tied up the series 2 games apiece on the back of a 5-4 overtime win. As the NBA Finals, Thunder looking to tie it up at 2 games apiece tonight with the Pacers, with a live broadcast of the game pregame coverage beginning at 7:30 right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. And if you're interested in some good NBA conversation, just some good conversation, Charles Barkley joined us earlier in the show. You can catch that conversation with Chuck on our website, 975thefanatic.com. Union hosts Charlotte FC is Saturday at 7:30. We'll have the game live for you right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. This update's brought to you by Rocket. Rocket.com is a single, seamless home ownership platform to help you find, buy, sell, finance, and even refinance your home. Start today at Rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for the NBA Finals. 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com.
A couple of things on this Bryce Harper thing. This picture on the beach was yesterday. Okay, it's not today. So we're getting. I'm getting on my text, which is Mike Miss 25. Here's Joe. Shouldn't he be at CBP getting treatment or something?
There.
Nothing like it. Self-centered egomaniac, overrated, overpaid prima donna.
Good Lord.
Come on now.
Overrated.
Come on.
My favorite part of that is overrated. Every time that anybody chants overrated, the chances of him going yard is like 100%.
Here's another one. Is bro hurt or on vacation?
Oh, for the love of me.
Well, first of all, bro is hurt. Second of all,
And
it's a day off, and you do anything you want on your day off. You don't. He doesn't have to be in a hyperbaric chamber for 24 hours. You know, he's a human being, and he's had a day off, and maybe his family was down the beach. He drives down the beach, spend the day on the beach. Somebody else would play golf on an off day. It's an off day. You don't have to show up.
That's what I'm going to do on my off day.
You could go to the park, maybe get a workout in. I don't know. Maybe play a little catch. But you don't really have to do anything. All right. A little earlier today, Julius Irving was on the morning show. Then we had Charles Barkley today on the show. And if you didn't hear Charles, it was long, and he had a lot of opinions on a lot of stuff, and he was funny as usual. So check it out on our website. But Julius Irving revealed something that was a lot interesting to a lot of people. He said he has only spoken to Joel Embiid in passing. He has never been asked or invited to sit down and talk to him in any capacity to forward any career advice, health advice, et cetera, et cetera. So, Ray, let's hear what Doc said first.
So I've only spoken to Joel in passing and have not really been invited to have a sit-down conversation with him about his health, his wellness, his career, and all of that. So that's not correct.
Okay.
No, I haven't been in that position, and it wasn't my job; it was somebody else's job per se. And I wouldn't mind doing it. I mean, if I was asked to do that, or even asked by him, but that hasn't happened.
Okay. Now, a lot of people thought that was, in fact, our morning guys were aghast at that. How could that be possible? That's indicative of Embiid doesn't care and the whole bit. And I go, I don't know if there's any kind of connect there anyway. And what could Doc tell Joel Embiid at this point where he's not a peer, he's not really playing with him? And Amy, I think you agree with that.
Yeah, I didn't find it as shocking. I just thought, well, if it would have happened, it would have happened a long time ago, and I don't know that it has any. And I'm with you that Dr. J could certainly impart plenty of knowledge on whomever would want to seek it out from him.
Right.
But at this point, what are we doing? They play different positions.
Yeah, I'm not as flabbergasted by that.
I don't think Joel is going to reach out to him.
No, and I don't think Joel. I think Joel's the type of guy that doesn't reach out to anybody. He doesn't. I don't think he listens to anybody because he yeses you to death. Like when Shaq got on him and. He said, "Yeah, Shaq, you're right. I got to do this. I got to do that," and then he didn't do it.
What?
So he's in his own world.
I will say that he has changed certain aspects of him. So I don't know. I think that there are times where he has taken other people's advice and looked internally because there is a shift after 2019, after that Toronto series, and how he managed his diet. He certainly came in more fit. Whether you want to say that he's sustained it, that's one thing. But I do think that he has listened to people in the past about what it takes to be a successful NBA player for a longer stretch than a year or two. So I will say that. I don't know that that's still occurring on an everyday basis, but
you see, last fall when they started scrimmage, when they started practice, when they opened camp, everybody said, "Well, he's in better shape." I didn't see that. I didn't see that he was in better shape.
I thought people said he had lost weight. I think.
Yeah, he lost weight. I didn't even see that lost weight.
He definitely was skinnier.
You do?
Oh yeah.
I didn't see it as much.
Yeah, he was
I think there's got to be a noticeable skinniness to him. That's when when you commit to your physical appearance,
he
you
was
get
like
notably
25
skinny.
pounds lighter last year.
That's what they said.
He
I'm not so
looked
sure. I had to see the scale. I had to see the scale. I asked at that time, "Give me the scale," because I'm not buying it.
He looked thinner to me.
He
the beginning of the year.
To me. All right. In any event, Charles Barkley was on, and I kind of asked him the same question, and I referenced the Doc Embiid situation, and here's what Charles had to say about it.
I've never actually had a conversation with Joel Embiid either. I don't know Doc's situation, but I think I may have said hello to Joel Embiid twice in my life, just hello. But we've actually never had a conversation. All young NBA players should talk to veteran guys because, it could only benefit talking to Dr. J or myself, Andrew Toney, Maurice Cheeks, Bobby Jones, Clement Johnson. Like, talking to older veteran players, man, we know the landscape of basketball first and foremost, but also Philly. And Joel's in a very interesting situation because, man, if he don't get healthy, man, it's going to be rough on him the next X amount of years.
Wow. There you go. Clement Johnson he brought up. Man,
Deep
backup
dive.
center. Do you remember him? No, you're too young for that, right?
I don't remember him.
That's the 1983.
I also think it is, there's a bit of a different era, right? I think that those guys, but when Charles was talking, these guys were all on the team with him. These are his contemporaries.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that
that's the difference, I think.
I
don't think it's a big. I get a lot of beefs with Embiid. I don't think that would be
Dr. J could impart wisdom in whatever fashion.
Right.
I don't know that it's a knock on any player for not taking or actively seeking him out, I guess.
Yeah. All right. The text board saying anything about this?
Chat board's gone down just
the chat.
a wild rabbit hole that I'm not going to read.
Oh, no. What's the chat board?
They're talking about my weekend plans, and I don't want to.
Your weekend plan.
It's not weekend plans that I've shared with anyone. So if they're
maybe they want to know
that, no.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Somebody's asking you about your weekend plan?
No, they're not asking. They are inferring and
inferring what?
Giving off a number of different type of plans that I could potentially have. None of which are appropriate for
people are interested in your life, Ray.
I appreciate that about them.
There you go.
Keep this a family program. I'm not reading the YouTube chat.
Okay.
We got a lot of people that chimed in on the tattoo situation.
Okay. I love this. Go ahead.
So there was few that were no way, absolutely no way. 99% of people wouldn't even know who that was on the tattoo, and I would never make her go through with that. Joe from West Philly chimed in with that one.
You can't.
But they're here in Philadelphia, so people are going to know who that is.
I want to talk to him.
I want to see what tattoos he's
I want
had
him to call. If you know this guy, Philpott.
Danny Philpott.
Danny Philpott. I need to talk to Danny on
I want to see what tattoos he's lost in the bet that he has now. Because he was supposed to get an Eli Manning one.
Yeah, see, you can't do that. You're scarring yourself for life with that. It sounds funny at the time, but it's a regretful thing.
I think that's where there are some people, again, that look at tattoos as just something fun to do, and they do not think about what they're going to look like when they're 80, nor do they care. And I appreciate those. I have friends like that. They'll get literally I think Sonic the Hedgehog's fun, so they'll get it on their arm. And I'm like, do you really like him anymore? No, but it's a fun tattoo, and they like the memory. I'm like, all right, go for it.
See, I want something cool that I can be proud of, that I can look down and people look at it and go,
that's a different mindset.
It is. Like I want script on my ribs before I die.
What
some kind of inspirational saying. I haven't figured out what yet. Okay. On my rib cage.
I just think there was a difference between the Eli Manning on the rear end and the forearm Kelsey. Like, how many people are really seeing the Eli Manning?
Nobody's going to see the rear end.
Well, she would.
Well, yeah, that's okay. But now everybody's seeing this, and everybody. She says in the story, people ask me about it, and I have to go into the whole story. When does that get old?
I mean, I would imagine you have that conversation beforehand. Like, you're going to talk about this tattoo. You have a naked man.
I think you're taking the other side on purpose just to get on.
I actually don't. I like these people. They're my new favorite crew.
This is an ultimate I would never, but I love that it happened.
Oh, I wouldn't. I couldn't. I don't like anything enough.
I feel bad for her. I feel bad for her.
See, I think she is good with this.
For now.
Yeah.
Down the road, I don't know. Maybe they have children. Now, I don't know. I don't know what their children's situation is. I mean, a little kid grows up. He's like, say, a little girl, a little boy that's 6 years old. Mommy, what is that?
It's Jason Kelsey, one of the greatest Eagles of all time.
It's Jason Kelsey with a pecker.
It's an eagle.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing. All right, let's get to Jim, who wants to talk about the NBA draft, which I went earlier in the show, went through this scenario where the Sixers trade out twice. Jim, from Pennsylvania, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's up, Jim?
Yeah, how you doing, Mike? Hello, Amy. How are you?
Hi, Jim.
Mike, I didn't hear the show earlier, but I question. You read these drafts and you don't know what to think. One draft has Edgecombe, another draft has Bailey. Someone else is talking up the center from Duke, who's South Sudanese. Yeah,
I like him.
I'll butcher his last name, but Maluak. Yeah, and he has said he's a very high upside, and he's a more intriguing possibility to my mind than Edgecombe or Bailey. Bailey's a project. Edgecombe is. What is this fascination with wing players? They've got wing players coming up the gazoo. They don't have any power forwards outside of one.
What wing players
and
do they have?
he gets plugged in at center when Embiid is not healthy.
First of all,
So so they get killed on the boards, and it creates an imbalance. And I don't know where this team is going. I think they're headed into oblivion because George is now a role player. He's not an all-star anymore.
Well, he's a wing player.
Health is questionable, and Morey seems to be fascinated with the idea of we got to have 3 all-stars. Well, you don't have 3 all-stars. The Pacers don't have 3 all-stars. OKC doesn't have 3 all-stars. All these ideals that he carries around, they're not realistic.
Well, let me tell you, Jim.
He ruined this team.
You got you got it off your chest there, Jim. I like it. But here's why the league goes for those type of perimeter players now. They go less for big men. Yeah, you need wing players that can defend, that are long, that can get to the basket, that can shoot at threes. That's why they're looking at wing players. But I kind of agree with you when it comes to Malawak. I think that he's a guy that you could, I would try to move Embiid. And I know that's going to be difficult, but I think a team that thinks they can get over the top with a guy like Embiid, and I would completely redo the way this team is built. But Morey's not going to do that because Morey's in charge.
He's the one they should try to get rid of, Morey.
Yeah, well, if he survived this year, they're not getting rid of him.
Oh, boy. Listen, both of you people have a good weekend, and we'll talk again sometime.
All right. Yeah, thanks for checking in. Yeah,
Take care.
Big Jim. By the way, you got on my Twitter,
Oh, no.
John, what do you say we get Amy Fadul a permanent gig on the Mikey Miss show?
Oh.
What a breath of fresh air.
Well, that's awfully nice.
Look
Thank
at
you
that.
So much.
How about that?
Hell
Amy?
yeah.
610-632.
Fresh air.
0975. Back after this. I know you're playing this late in the show, so I can do it. Nice. 610-632-0975. All right, so Amy, I've heard it a little earlier in the show. What would you think would be one of the hardest achievements ever in sports? Would you say like a perfect game?
Like
would be at the
individual?
top? Yeah, individual.
Like a single, like not like over the course of not over the
thing.
course of a season.
Like
or whatever.
scoring 100 points will never happen, right? That's got to be.
There's things that I think are untouchable, like scoring. Cal Ripken's streak. I think those days are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Pete Rose's streak, that hit record, that's never happening.
Pitching a perfect game. It's only happened like 24 times.
Yeah,
in
that's
history
so
of baseball.
elusive. So elusive.
How about an albatross?
I've seen an albatross in person.
You've seen it? Where?
I was at a random event. This was years and years and years ago. I was down in Baltimore, and I can't remember what event came through. ShopRite something. I can't remember what it was. That's not the name of it. And we were out, and we had just turned around. You know how like sometimes when you're on these courses, you can see one hole here, and then we had just turned around, and I didn't see him hit it, but I saw the ball rolling up, and we just happened to be like really close to the green where we were stationed because we were near the tee box of the other one, and it just rolled up, and that's when everybody started realizing it was tracking, and it was like a low-level event. I think it was a senior PGA event. That's exactly what it was, and I was like, I think that's, and then everybody went crazy. And I was like, why is everybody going crazy? And like that was from the fairway. I was like, what? That's what we realized.
That's phenomenal. I don't know how many have been done in
I remember one in
PGA play.
At the British Open. I remember that one, yeah.
All right, so this whole Patrick Reed did it. Now, he's not the most popular golfer. Some people, it rolls off their back when he does it. If Rory did it, it would be like phenomenal.
P. Reed, I'm all out on later.
Yeah, so Patrick Reed does it, and the albatross, for people that don't know golf, it goes par, birdie, eagle, albatross, which is a par 5, you make a 2. Now, I just can't conceive.
Incredible.
Like a 600-yard hole, you're making a 2. It's phenomenal when you think about it. Anyway, what's going on with the Open today? Do we have any
I know
any
Justin
move up
Thomas
the leaderboard?
Absolutely just got destroyed. Sam Burns made a move. There's somebody else who's making a bit of a move, but I saw JT's score, and it was
Oh, really? Did he not make the cut?
He's not going to make the cut. Nope.
All right. Spawn is just teed off.
He just started.
Yeah, he's through 2. He's still 4
Victor
under.
Hovland was hot early.
Victor Hovland -1 today. He was 2 under today.
He was 4 under at one point.
Yeah, he finished 2 under. He's now at -1. They're predicting this could be an over par.
Absolutely. They won
Open.
it. They set it up for over par.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they'll hang in there. Let's see. Koepka is hanging in there, +2. Adam Scott -1. Ben Griffin -1. Robert McIntyre even. Schauffele +1. So if you're hovering around the plus line of +2, +3, you still might be in contention.
I would think so.
Let's see who is now going to miss the cut. Any big names? Tony Finau, Patrick Reed, +6.
Did you see his round yesterday with that albatross?
He had he was +3 yesterday, right?
He got a 2.
You're not a big P. Reed fan?
No, I think that guy's a clown.
He cheats and he's
his whole vibe. Like the only time I will say that I like
how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown.
Oh yeah, he's clown. The only time I will say that I was all in on P. Reed was when he was at the Ryder Cup. His vibe was absolutely my jam at the Ryder Cup when he and Rory went toe to toe. For anybody that watched that Ryder Cup a number of years ago, because he can't compete in the Ryder Cup anymore. 1, because he's not very good at golf, and 2, because he's a live golfer. But
yeah, he's also from Augusta. I have friends who are in Augusta. I played the course.
He won Augusta.
Yeah.
He didn't even talk to his parents.
No, I played the
Super
course
weird.
that made him famous at Augusta University.
Oh.
It's a nice course, man. They have
Hope so.
a really nice course.
But yeah, I liked him at the Ryder Cup that one time. That's it.
Justin Rose +7.
Seriously, go look at Justin Thomas. Scroll all the way down.
Let's see. He's at double digits?
Yeah.
Shane Lowry +10.
Keep
Wow.
going.
Really?
Yeah.
Sepp Straka +11.
Sepp. Poor Sepp.
Yeah, Sepp has been hot. I
humbling
don't
course.
even see JT. Where the hell is it? Oh, my man Guido
He's
Migliosi.
at +12.
Guido Migliosi from my home country. +18. Oh, Guido.
JT is +12.
+12. Oh, yeah, Justin Thomas +12.
Sorry about it.
Find something to do this weekend, Holmes. Back to the text board we go. Ray, hit me.
All right, we got some more people checking in on Bryce here. Jasper, why does it matter whether it's Bryce's day off or not? His wrist is hurt, so one of the best things he could do for it is rest. What better place to rest than the beach?
Well, there you go.
That was a roller coaster of a text right there. At first, I thought he was going
to blast him.
Anti, bro.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be anti. Yeah, he's just walking around on the beach, maybe sitting in a nice beach chair, not doing anything to the wrist. Now, if he's playing Frisbee, I got a problem. Right?
With the wrist.
Yeah. If he's playing Frisbee, I got a situation. But he's just walking. The picture I got, he's just walking. What else?
All right, we got another tattoo bet here. My two friends are brothers. One's an Eagles fan. One is a Texans fan. They made a bet who would win a Super Bowl first. The Texans guy had to get a tramp stamp of an old school Eagle. Go Birds.
Tramp stamp of an old school Eagle.
The thing is, at some point, you would let your buddy out of it if he really protested, right? Or your wife in this case. If they really protested. But I feel like these people are down for a good time, not a long time. They don't think about those long-term things that you were talking about. They don't care about them. Here for a good time, not a long time.
I think there's a regret that would set in.
We'll talk to them in a couple of years.
Listen, tramp stamp. First of all, is it politically correct? Can you still say that?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I said it.
A lower back tattoo.
I read it.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I didn't like it when I said it.
Yeah, I don't know. If
I'll send out a preemptive apology. I'll get the notes up
ready. You can
ready.
still cover that up, except you're on the beach. Like, you can still cover that up. Like, this on the forearm, I'm repulsed by that whole story.
I can't believe how repulsed you are.
I am. I can't believe it. I can't believe a guy would let his wife do that. You know, call it off. All right, you made a bet. All right? Do something else.
This, honestly, though, like, they went to an extreme level. My household, because I'm the product of an Eagles-Giants marriage. The worst that happened to us was the Giants ornament was at the top of the Christmas tree. That was like the bet every year. Whoever won the game closest to Christmas got the...
That's normal.
It was very calm.
Isn't that normal? That's not ink. It's not, you're not staining the house. You're not building a brick and putting it in the wall. You know?
I am going to ask this weekend, because I'm going to see the boat, obviously, this weekend, if there was any, like, wild Eagles-Giants bets that were not just the one I grew accustomed to every year. Because this is, I don't think my parents aren't tattoo people, so I don't think that they would have went to that extent. But I'm curious.
Didn't Anthony lose a bet and had to do a... Does Anthony, our good pal Anthony Gargano, have a Sixer tattoo that he had to get because of some reason?
I could look at this.
Know that?
Yeah, I'm sure someone wrote about it if it happened.
I think he had to get a Sixer tattoo for some reason. Well, it's a Sixer tattoo, so it's it's not like Boston Celtics.
Trying to find if there's anything. We could.
All right,
We'll check in with him.
I think he's got one, but in any event, let me just quickly reiterate this mock draft, because all the mock drafts are coming out right now. The NBA draft is June 25th. The NHL draft is June 27th. We got a big shindig for that, by the way, which will hook up to the Flyers charities. But in this mock draft here, this guy who is pretty plugged into the league, this guy who writes on the NBA for The Athletic, he is Sam Vecini. So Sam says Cooper Flag goes 1, Dylan Harper goes 2. Third pick, Sixers have it. Now, that could be Ace Bailey, could be VJ Edgecombe. He's got a projected trade in number 3. He must be hearing something. The Hornets trade into that spot to get Edgecombe. They give the Sixers number 4 and number 32 for the number 3 switch and Andre Drummond. All right, now at 4, you can still take your man from Texas. But at 4... He's got the Sixers trading out of 4 with the Washington Wizards and acquiring number 6 and number 18 for the number 4 and Eric Gordon. So they've got rid of Andre Drummond and Eric Gordon, and they've got now number 6 and number 18. And in addition, they've got a couple of picks in the second round. So with the 6th pick, it says the Sixers select Con Knippel, the 6'7" guard from Duke. They got him listed at 6'5". He was always listed at 6'7" for the whole year, wasn't he?
I was going to say 6'6", but okay.
Con Knippel, you like it?
And then they got 6, they got 18 33,
35.
Yeah, I like it.
You're
I don't
okay with
love
it?
it, but I like it.
Ray, you like that?
Yeah.
You like it. You don't love it.
No. Yeah.
I like it.
Would you
I would
rather
go on
have
a few
stayed
dates with that idea? I wouldn't marry that idea.
Would you rather have stayed at 3 and taken whoever?
Yeah, I like the upside of at 3 versus.
I do
So now-
like getting off some of the contracts.
Well, that's
though,
what
a
I'm saying.
lot.
So, Ray, now you're not getting rid of Drummond and Eric Gordon, but you're adding just the third pick to the what you have now, the morass that you have now.
Yeah, I guess there's really not a scenario I'd marry. I don't love anything that's going on right now. It's 2 bad doors. Is there a magic third door I could walk through?
There is no
Yes.
magic third door. Anyway, that's what they're proposing. Now, at the pick 18, it has the Sixers taking Danny Wolf, the 6'11" redhead kid who played in Michigan last year, who
Never
can
mind.
actually play a 4.
Back in.
You're back in? You like him?
Because he's a redhead. He's
Oh,
not. He has no idea about Danny Wolf.
It's the redhead.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, they pick somebody that's going to help them immediately at 3. Ideally.
Yeah.
But I think that there are some nice scenarios where they can move off some of the contracts to get more players.
Now, Knipple wouldn't help them next year. You think?
I do.
You
Off
do?
the bench, he would. Yeah.
Really?
I do.
I'm not seeing
I
it.
don't think it would be like earth-shattering, not like 18 points a game. But I think he could come in and give you some spot
All right.
minutes. Yeah.
And Amy's also high on Thiero, the projected
Adu.
number 33 pick.
Terry.
Terrio, whatever his name is.
He
Anyway,
changed
Amy, it's
pronunciation.
been a pleasure for these 2 days.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank
the
you
last 2
for
days.
hanging with us,
Hopefully
and
I'll
thanks
see you,
everybody for
soon.
listening and contributing. And everybody have a great weekend. Stay tuned for Unfiltered right here on 97.5 The Fanatic.